FM. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. That is a well-lit Joe Reinagle sitting across from me in the same studio, although if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube Live, we do look like we're in separate locales because a guy with 25 years of TV experience travels with lights.
Well, you got to have lights, studio lights. And then next thing I'm going to get in here is a prompter. And then I'll feel right at home.
You know, doing 3 hours of radio different than 3 minutes of TV every night. I couldn't imagine if you actually tried to script out this show over 3 hours.
I couldn't do that, although I do try. If everybody sees my little legal pad right here, I've got notes written right here. I do it the old-fashioned way.
You do. And again, mine's all on a computer. Joe could actually be taking notes on a computer and saving the legal pad expense.
I haven't gotten into the Sports Star office supplies yet. This is personal right here. So I will be hitting the Sports Star office supply store, though, or whatever.
I'm glad you said that was personal. That wasn't Ken's 5 property.
No. This is personal. This is personal.
Yeah.
But before long, really before long, we got like 3 pieces left.
All right.
So, yeah, I'm going to have to hit the Sports Star office supply cabinet.
Just go see Iris.
Go see Iris.
She'll give you, but they keep a spreadsheet of that. So if you're using too many notepads, you're going to get a talking to.
I will. Okay.
I mean, although the reality is, you had a brand new laptop come in the mail today.
I did. Is that unusual?
Well, since mine is from 1987, I would say yes. The fact that it is and I got it used. Although, according to the corporate help desk, I need to replace my laptop.
Well, that thing, yeah, because boy, that thing has been around a while.
It has.
It really has.
But at the same time, Reinagle was sitting there taking notes. We're in the office getting all ready, and I get an email from the front desk. Hey, Joe has a package, and because nobody knows where to find you yet, so they call me, right? So I go up there and I had to go do some things. So I pick up. Oh man, Joe's got a laptop. Well, there goes show prep because he's going to rip into this like Christmas morning. He goes, all right, set it down, and it's still sitting there.
Well, it is because I'm serious about getting ready for the show, Jason.
No, you're serious about not wanting a laptop. You're like, what do I do with that?
I don't know how to use it. I need a 3-hour class to see where the on-off switch is for that thing. So, yeah, that's going to be something. So I'll take that home and mess around with it and see what happens. And, I asked Greg Martin, I said, well, hey, do I need to hand this to an engineer or something? He goes, no. What do you need that for? All you need is internet. Just go to work. So I guess that's just that simple.
Do I need an engineer to get this out of the box is what he was actually saying.
That's exactly right.
Let alone turning it on. How do I get into this package?
That's the hardest part of getting anything like that is getting it out of the box. Right? I mean, they pack those things like, it's childproof. Like a prescription bottle that I can't open those either.
Reinagle proof.
Exactly. And it is. And so I may need some help opening that thing before it's all said and done.
Well, if you don't hurry up, Pledger is going to take that because as bad as my laptop is, his is worse.
Is it really?
Oh my, his is an old desktop.
Yeah.
You used to sell phones for a living. You
I
remember
did,
old Motorola bag phones
that
used to be the cell phone type?
Yeah.
Pledge has an equivalent of that of laptops. I mean, everybody, thinks that, he works out and all that kind of stuff because he's trying to look good. The reality is just so he could lug around that damn laptop.
Well, that's good. He needs to. That's how he stays so skinny. Dude, I'm going to tell you what. Let me just tell you something. We were at the Roo Pub last night. Great time. And I know we're going to talk more about that, but I had a plate of wings. Delicious, by the way, but they're huge.
They're the biggest wings in town.
It's unbelievable how big those things are. So I think there were 8 on the plate. I ate 6 of them. So I look over to Pledge is standing there. I say, hey, Pledge, dude, I can't do any more of this. And before I could even get the last they were gone, eaten. I mean, it was like a dog with a bone.
Pledge is a garbage disposal when it comes to eating. And I love that. I don't do leftovers. So I know this sounds bad as I say it, but Pledge eats a lot of our leftovers.
He does,
You know, when
yes.
I grill at the house or whatever, and of course he's single. I mean, I don't know what he's cooking at the house, but I'm guessing it's all either microwaved or delivered
SpaghettiOs.
or SpaghettiOs or DiGiorno's or anything that ends in O's, you know, that can heat up in a couple of minutes.
That's
That's
right.
Pledge's diet,
Yeah.
unless somebody brings stuff. But even today for lunch, you know, we had a big staff meeting today, and all of us were there, and we all had plans to go to lunch afterwards.
Right.
And everybody went except Reinagel. He decided to go home and have lunch with his new wife, which I don't blame you there.
Well, dude, I'm thinking, let's see, Minix, Rudy J, Pledge, or Maggie. I mean, seriously, do you blame me?
I'll give you a couple years.
Yeah,
You'll
thanks.
be at lunch, right? So we go to lunch, a great sandwich jump over off Broadway called Zito's. And I get a half serious. Everybody orders their sandwiches. Pledge gets, I need a large pastrami. You know, and again, he's done first. Lunch starts, and he doesn't stop talking the entire time. He's doing this and that and all the things we're talking about. Me and all, we're going to do this, and somehow his sandwiches disappear.
Yeah.
Then I see something that I've never seen in my life.
Uh-oh.
Because over there they give you the big dill pickles,
Right.
in your sandwich basket, right?
Yeah.
Pledge grabs that dill pickle and eats it like it's a corn on the cob. Apparently, he doesn't like the tip of the pickle.
Yeah.
But I've never seen anybody eat a pickle like it's a corn on the cob. And Rob looks at him like he's from Mars, which he is.
I think he is.
And then he ate my pickle like it was a corn on the cob.
Wow.
It was the strangest way to eat a pickle.
Well, I tell you what, I got my first taste of Pledge and food last night. Those two wings were gone before I could even take another breath.
And barely any bone left on it.
Well, there wasn't much bone, but I tell you, there was no chicken left on the bone.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It was gone. The guy's a professional.
He does not waste.
It was a fun night though last night.
Oh, dude, last night was so much fun.
It was fun. You know, you guys told me that you know, when Sports Star goes out, you guys know how to party right and watch games and do it right. And I can't disagree now that I've seen it firsthand.
The cool thing, and then because we've all gone out when we're traveling, or like say in Oxnard at Cowboys game.
Right.
But a lot of times, you know, the radio types will go do things. The TV guys have to stay and work.
Right.
You know, because the late news and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's all that. But I mean, you've gone out with us before, you know how we roll. But yeah, it's one thing just to go from the show, put some tables together. It's going to be a party. And then you had listeners that were just showing up. They pull up a seat, hang out, you know, and it's just on.
Everybody's good. And, you know, the Rue Pub is a perfect place for that. I mean, to watch a game. We talked about it a lot yesterday with the big screens going on. You had the national championship game going on. And you know, your wife was there, mine was there. They had a good time, and it was just a fun night. It was a great place to watch that football game, which turned out to be a really good football game.
You know, the first half was sponsored by No Dose.
Yeah.
The second half by 5 Hour Energy.
Man.
And that second half, it's interesting because at one point it was like, man, first touchdown might win that thing. And I think I turned to Pledge and said, watch, final score is going to be 33-30. They're once the touchdowns start rolling, you're just going to have that. But that game had so many incredible moments. And that's what you want in a national championship game. And to a degree, I feel bad for Georgia because the headlines today weren't Georgia wins. It was that Alabama lost.
Don't you hate that?
Well, but what is the bigger story? Is the bigger story that Georgia won or that big bad Alabama lost?
The bigger story is that Georgia won. Everybody was picking Georgia to win. Remember, we talked about it. I was scared because I like Georgia, and I thought, well, Georgia's going to win this thing. They have to, right? But then everybody, I mean, you know, Rob Thompson comes in. He likes Georgia. Rudy J likes Georgia. I think Pledge was the only one that didn't. And so now I know if Pledge picks a team, I'm going the opposite direction every time.
Yeah, Pledge owes a lot of people money today.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
That's why he's eating everybody's pickle.
I'm going to tell you what, Kirby Smart, I don't know what kind of lecture he gave at halftime, but whatever it was, that Georgia football team came out a different team in the second half. Well, it was incredible.
The physicalness nature of that football game.
Incredible.
The hits. But again, I look at Alabama, and I'm falling into the trap that Alabama lost that game, as young as they were, with some of the injuries in that game. Especially at wide receiver. That dude, we all watched his leg explode.
Yeah, that's too bad, too.
Late in the game when they were throwing it around, how much of a difference would he have made? Because, quite honestly, I thought the game was over when Bennett fumbled the ball, which looked like an incomplete pass to me, judging by all the rules, everything we know about the tuck rule. If it goes forward,
it should have
somehow
been incomplete.
If the other one, when you're all wrapped up and you just kind of throw it like that, like you're in a straitjacket trying to throw a ball. If that's ruled an incomplete pass and not a fumble, why wasn't the other? And then the kid from Alabama going out of bounds might have had the play of the year and not even know it by an inch. I mean, Alabama gets a touchdown there.
Sure.
I don't know how Georgia responds, but then you see how Georgia responds. And that walk-on quarterback, whatever happened in that moment, that flip in his head switched, and he was throwing darts, and they were running the ball. They finally wore that Alabama defensive line down. They were able to run the ball in late third quarter and in that fourth quarter and put that game away. I've never seen an Alabama team get out physical like they were last night.
I'm telling you what, some of the hits in that game, though, especially in that first half, were just incredible on both sides. Both of those defenses were just laying the wood. I mean, they were just laying the wood. It was like, hey, this is the last game. It's for all the marbles, and we're bringing it. And, man, they brought it. I tell you what, I don't know how some of those guys got up after some of those hits. It was just incredible. But you mentioned the quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs, Stetson Bennett, and what a story that guy was. And in fact, when you walked into the station today, I mean, people who don't normally watch football were watching because of that kid.
Yeah, a lady that works in our sales department, and let's just say she's a grandma.
Yeah.
Says, that game last night was, I wasn't sure who I wanted. Then I heard the story about Stetson Bennett. Then I Googled him. I read about him, and I was so happy for him. But isn't that why you love sports?
Exactly.
I mean, the underdog story, the 30 for 30 or whatever that ultimately might come out in a situation like that. But in his messaging after the game, bet on yourself, believe in yourself. I don't care if you're a walk-on or the 5-star. That's what you have to do. And for that coaching staff, when they've got guys with numbers of stars next to their name from the recruiting that don't beat this kid out, and Georgia fans ready for the name that they know that they heard about, not this walk-on kid, for him to go win the Natty, that's such an incredible story. That's why we love sports.
That is why you love sports. There's always a story like that. That kind of reminds me of the Kurt Warner story, right? Although I don't like Kurt Warner very much because, he beat the Titans in the Super Bowl. But
stop.
Well, 1 yard, dude.
By a yard.
1 yard.
1 yard.
I'll get
Size
over
matters.
Yeah, it does. It certainly does. I'll get over it. It'll be okay.
Clearly,
but
you're never going to get over it.
Well, no, I'm not. And I go all the way back to that horrible loss to the Buffalo Bills way back when. So there are a lot of things that scarred me as a young person. When it comes to the Oilers / Titans, it's so those things scar me, and it's something. I'm still in therapy, by the way. Once a week I go, and it's really. Anyway, we were talking about Kurt Warner.
Clearly,
no, it's not.
Helping.
It's
not helping.
I've spent a lot of money laying on that couch, and it's it hasn't worked.
You could just divorce your team and pick a new one.
No, I can't.
You could be a Cowboy fan.
You can't do that.
I mean, really, if you want misery, become a Cowboy fan.
1996 was the last one, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. It's almost been 30 years.
It's been 40 for Georgia, but they ended that streak.
They did. Well, the Cowboys just have 10 more to go, and they'll be okay.
It's going to end this year, man.
Okay.
That was a bad fake laugh.
It was a little sarcastic, right?
Yeah,
that was bad. That would be. I would love that. I'd love to see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, obviously I would. The comparison that I make, my daughter was born in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
She's 23.
Right.
She has seen the Spurs win 5 championships.
Yes.
She hasn't seen the Cowboys win that many playoff games in her lifetime.
That's true.
It's a scary stat. Yet every year the Cowboys are going. And this year, you never – I mean, the way the Cowboys offense played the other day, should they beat San Francisco? Absolutely. Then a road game against Tampa Bay. They played well there in the opener. Could there be a difference maker in that game? Could they go back to Tampa Bay? Dak said, "We'll see you again."
Oh, yeah.
If that were to play out, could they get that road win against the Buccaneers and then go in none-degree weather and beat the Green Bay Packers? I mean, or if they're going to be out Sunday. I mean, that's the crazy thing when you're talking about the Cowboys.
You just don't know, right? You just don't have a good feeling about it.
You have no idea.
No clue at all. And there's so many scenarios that could play out there because, boy, I just don't know. I mean, is Green Bay going to fold like their history says they're going to fold? I mean, maybe the Rams go in there and beat them. Who knows? And then the Cowboys, and maybe the NFC Championship game runs through AT&T Stadium. I mean, who knows? It's possible. It's possible.
Would that be awesome?
That would be great.
An NFC Championship game at AT&T Stadium. When I think about this Cowboys game, and we'll talk about it coming up, Charean Williams will join us at 5:30 from Pro Football Talk, Hall of Fame voter. She's fantastic. We talked about this the other day. The one area that just all bets are off when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys is Greg Zuerlien.
True.
Greg Zuerlien has played in 16 games this year. Remember, he missed one because of the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
He has a miss either of a field goal or an extra point in 8 games.
But they're going to ride with him.
Half.
Fossil said so yesterday.
They are going to ride with them, although Jerry Jones did say this morning on 105.3 The Fan, they're riding with them for now.
You can rest assured that was the first thing that you look at, and if a better alternative would be out there, we'd be using it. Everything's at stake.
If a better alternative was out there than Greg Zuerlien, they would be using it.
Well, is there not? I mean, come on. As many field goal kickers as there are that are out of work right now, there's nobody better than Greg Zuerlien?
At least in their mind. At least in their mind, Greg Zuerlien is the better of the available kickers. There's not a better replacement. And while he has struggled, and Jerry did say today on the radio that has altered game plans at times with his struggles, some of his strengths are still worthy of keeping him around.
Absolutely it does. And we're well aware, and we should be aware. That's part of running the show. And it really does. But Zuerlien really brings a lot to the table. His leg strength, his touchbacks, his ability to be a threat at a length and distance, all of that is there. He has had a exceptionally tough year for him in extra points, but he's a sound kicker, experienced kicker, and our guys are all sensitive about how to approach the game.
I think I would trade touchbacks for better accuracy on field goals and extra points.
I give Jerry Jones credit, and this. I love the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jerry Jones. I think he's great. He's good for the sport. He's good for us in the media, and I love the guy. And what I love about him is that he has the back of his players. He does. He has the back of his players. For him to go on the radio this morning and have the back of Greg Zuerlien like he's had it, is pretty much amazing to me. I'm honestly shocked that Greg Zuerlien is still going to trot out there Sunday and be the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys.
I am too. And again, great. You can make touchbacks on your kickoffs.
Yeah, nobody cares.
I would rather trust my coverage team to make a tackle and have a kicker that I'm pretty confident is going to make an extra point 19 out of 20 times I send him out there. And I say that because is there a kicker this year? How many kickers have been perfect on their PATs? Since they moved it back, but nobody seems to miss at the clip of Greg Zuerlien. Now, I think his record is perfect inside of 2 minutes of a half or to win a game.
Well, which is important, by the way.
Obviously. And I understand that's great, but you go back to that first game in Tampa Bay, his misses.
Yeah.
the difference in that football game.
You know, I will never understand, and this is Greg Zuerlien or any kicker you want, just because they moved the extra point back. What is it, a 25-yard kick?
32.
I mean, that should be automatic for any pro football kicker.
It should be.
I mean, that should just be no-brainer. It should be automatic, no problem at all.
Yep.
I don't understand these guys missing those kicks.
I don't either.
Yeah, I understand you miss a 50-yarder. Okay, I get that. That's going to happen from time to time, although they should hit those more than they miss, but that's going to happen. But a 32-yard kick, I mean, that should be just automatic.
It should be automatic. And what's interesting is when they did the study and decided to move it back, they found that to be the sweet spot area, their formula, to where it wasn't automatic.
Yeah. I don't get it.
And I think the league is getting what they're wanted. We shouldn't ever be talking about extra points. As a fan,
never.
As a radio show, as a highlight show, you should never see the extra point. They move it back so we pay attention to it before we flip away or go to the refrigerator or do something.
You have to.
You kind of now have to watch the extra point, especially if your kicker is Greg Zuerlien, because there is no guarantee.
Well, I think one thing is pretty safe to say, unless Zuerlien just has a great postseason, he won't be the Cowboys kicker next season. I don't believe he will be, right? There's got to be somebody else out there. And in fact, you know, the guy from UTSA, he's going in there.
Well, yeah, Hunter Duplessis.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and Rudolph Renee is saying that on our Facebook Live. The Cowboys better not use a draft pick on a kicker. They got other needs they need to worry about. Now, if he's there in the 6th, 7th round, fine. But he's not the kind of kicker. And I love the kid, and I loved what he did for UTSA. This isn't Janikowski. This isn't a Shane Leckler. This isn't Vinatieri. This isn't...
maybe it is.
You don't use a draft pick on a kicker.
Now
that's in my rule book, just like you don't use a top 5 pick on a running back.
Exactly, which the Cowboys did.
Yes.
They also drafted a guy by the name of C.D. Lamb just because he was the sexy pick there.
And he's been sexy.
No, he hasn't been sexy. He hasn't been that sexy. Has he? I mean, I don't have the stats in front of me. But tell me, has C.D. Lamb been the guy you thought he was going to be?
Yes. And,
really?
I'll tell you what, Pledge, can you look up real quick? I don't have it up in front of me. Who was the Cowboys' leading receiver this year? And I believe it's C.D. Lamb by a couple hundred yards. Without looking it up. And
I will stand corrected if that is the case.
It's stats there. But what he does offer, yes, the Cowboys certainly needed that in everything that he has done. While Pledge is looking that up, I'll tell you, coming up here on the Blitz, Charean Williams will join us at 5:30. We'll get more on the Dallas Cowboys. But yesterday was a big day for one Cameron Ward. The former UIW quarterback entered the transfer portal, made his decision yesterday. He's going to Pullman, Washington to play for the Washington State Cougars. And former UIW head coach Eric Morris, who's now the OC there with the Cougs. Cam Ward's going to join us coming up in about 7 minutes at 4:30 on video as well. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you'll be able to see him. If you're just driving around listening on radio, you'll be able to hear him. But for a kid that did not get recruited out of college, the amount of recruitment that went on in his transfer portal, very interesting story that he'll tell us about coming up in a few minutes. He will
tell us about that. Yes, he will. Can I just say something right here?
Uh-huh.
Okay, since the Chiefs game back on November 21st, C.D. Lamb has exactly 0 touchdowns. Okay, and I'm talking about the Chiefs game. He had 3 catches in that game, 7 against the Saints for 89 yards, 7 catches for 61 against Washington, 6 for 50 against the Giants, 4 for 66 against the football team. Against the Cardinals, he had 3 for 51. And against the Eagles of all teams, who had nobody, he had 2 catches for 45 yards. So he's gone 7 ball games without a score.
He's gone. Well, I mean, doesn't that coincide with the slump that Dak Prescott has been in?
Well, I don't know. They're scoring 50 points a game, and C.D. Lamb's not scoring 1.
Well, he's drawing attention, and Cedric Wilson is having some great games.
Well, and that's great. So Cedric Wilson may be the best receiver you've got on the team right now. and not CeeDee Lamb, at least not over the last 7 ball games. Look, CeeDee
On
Lamb.
the year, CeeDee Lamb, 79 catches, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns.
I don't care what's
Amari Cooper, 68 for 865 and 8 touchdowns.
When it
Dalton
matters,
Schultz,
Jason.
78 catches, 808 yards and 8 touchdowns.
When it matters, Jason. We're talking about the last 7 ball games.
You know what? But what is this? I mean, look, if you're going to argue against CeeDee Lamb, what's one of the bitches we've had about Dak Prescott? Nothing over the top, everything underneath. And those stats, the number of catches that Dalton Schultz has, which is 1 fewer than CeeDee Lamb, the 800 yards to 1,200 or 1,100 yards, that's all the checkdowns that Dak is doing.
Well, that's fine. That's not the.
And it comes back to the offensive line.
So
now
it's Dak's fault. It's not CeeDee.
No, it's back to the offensive line.
You're the opposite of Jerry Jones. Now, Jones would throw the receivers under the bus. You're going to take the back of the receivers and throw Dak under the bus.
I'm just saying CeeDee Lamb has been fantastic. I don't think that's
when
been.
It counts, Jason, he has not. The last 7 games, he has done absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Tell me in those games, and I know you can't do it off the top of your head, but if you're going to tell me the dude's done absolutely nothing.
I just read you the stats.
Well, you read me the stats, but I want to know what were the targets in those games and tell me the drops. Because he's out there running routes, and according to Jerry, not well, because they blame route running all the time.
Well, exactly. But I'm just saying when it matters towards the end of the season. All those stats he put up were in the first half of the season. So I'm talking about the last 7 ball games. CeeDee Lamb has been a no-show. And when he's catching the football, obviously it's not for anything because he's got 7 catches against the football team, 7 against the Saints. One was 61 yards, the other was 89 yards. Look, CeeDee Lamb's a talented guy, but lately CeeDee Lamb has been a no-show.
He's dropped some too.
Right.
He does have some drops. I'm with you there.
So they've got to have him if they're going to do anything in the playoffs.
Cowboys have to step up, all of them, including CeeDee Lamb.
Especially
Is it
CeeDee
the receiver's
Lamb.
fault or the quarterback's fault?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say.
We've got a quarterback ready to come on with us. I'd be curious to see what he thinks about it when you talk about receivers.
Well, he's going to blame the receiver. You know that.
Well, no, he's a quarterback. He's going to blame himself because quarterbacks take the heat for that. Quarterbacks never say, man, if that dude would quit dropping passes, my numbers would look better. Rarely do you ever hear a quarterback say that.
Well, not in public.
Yeah,
but in the locker room, you might hear it.
Absolutely.
Dude, I can't catch it for you.
Cameron Ward is going to join us coming up next here on The Blitz. First, let me tell you about Garageization. I moved into my new house early 2020, coming up on 2 years. And when I moved into the new house, the garage, smaller than what I had at the old place. And, I'm going to park both my cars in the garage. I needed an organization solution, and I found it with Garageization. I loved they came out to the house. We talked about what my needs were. I installed these incredible industrial shelves, which were perfect for long-term storage, but they have these bars underneath that you can hang stuff off of, so you're using that space underneath. I love the versatility that those shelves offer and how organized my garage is now. If you need to organize your garage, call Garageization at 210-664-4494. Ask them about shelves, the overhead racks, closed storage, slat walls. Make your garage functional for the entire family, where you can get both cars in there, the golf clubs, the kid bikes, all the Christmas stuff, everything you need. Garageization, since 2008, they're a veteran-owned company that's been helping San Antonians love their garage. Call them. Have them give you a customized plan for your garage. Go to the website, garageorganizationsanantonio.com. That's garageorganizationsanantonio.com. Future Washington State quarterback Cameron Ward joins us next, right after SportsCenter with James Pledger.
Thanks, Jason. In the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn continues to gain interest around the league as a head coaching candidate. Along with the Broncos, Quinn has now also been requested by the Miami Dolphins and Chicago Bears for their head coaching vacancy. The Broncos also requested to interview Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, who has already had an interview with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Carolina Panthers are reportedly seeking to interview Texans quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator Pep Hamilton for their offensive coordinator vacancy. Hamilton was an offensive coordinator at Stanford and Indianapolis before and is credited with the development of quarterbacks such as Andrew Luck, Justin Herbert, and Davis Mills this season. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs fell last night in New York to the Knicks, 111-96. Their 7th loss in their last 8 games and 3rd straight. DeJounte Murray led San Antonio with 24 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds, while Jakob Poeltl added 12 and 10. San Antonio is now 15-25 on the year and will return to action tomorrow when they take on the Rockets. In college hoops, the 19th-ranked Texas Tech Bears take on the top-ranked and undefeated Baylor Bears. At 6 o'clock, Texas A&M will take on Ole Miss, a game you can catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star right after the Blitz at 7 with the pregame. I'm James Pledger.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole, and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redmond Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Tune in to the Blitz today for the ESPN San Antonio Injury Update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Catch up on the latest injuries and how it'll affect your team. The Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online at tsaog.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 11 locations and check out the new Kubota L2501 package deal, which includes a 4-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package specials at ewaldkubota.com.
Yes, Miss Tubbs. No problem. I'll call someone about the plumbing.
One of Beatrice's properties needs a new superintendent.
The custodial team is not
someone with handyman superpowers and a concierge alter ego.
Does anyone know any good electricians near Parkville?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Jerry Jones, and you're listening to the home of the Dallas Cowboys.
San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagel. Before we get to Cameron Ward, we got a little breaking news.
This is breaking news from San Antonio Sports Star.
According to Ian Rappaport, the NFL Network, Judgment Day for Joe Judge. He's fired, out as head coach of the New York Giants.
Do you think the Giants just wanted to have their own space? Because this should have been done Sunday night.
It should have been done in the middle of the game on 3rd and long when he calls a quarterback sneak.
Twice.
And waved the white flag. I think it was daring himself to get fired. So they made him sit around and twist in the wind for an extra day. It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star. Want to welcome in former UIW quarterback Cameron Ward. Set all kinds of records playing over there for the Cardinals. An incredible run there, playing 2 seasons in really the course of a couple of months. Played so well. He's now on his way to the Pac-12. Cam, appreciate you taking the time. You decided yesterday, made your announcement. You're going to transfer if you hit the portal to Pullman, Washington for the Washington State Cougars. Tell us about the decision-making process, my friend.
It was fun. It was also, overwhelming with a lot of coaches, contacting me, which I didn't get the opportunity to have during high school. But it was hard to, leave UIW. What they instilled in me, bringing an 18-year-old kid. They were my only offer coming out of high school. What we did in the spring season, how we built on it into the fall season, having the best record in program history, win their second conference championship in 4 years. So what we did this past season, it was hard to leave it.
Cameron, I've got to ask you, and I know, man, you look like you had a lot of fun this season. You were playing at the top of your game, and everything just seemed to click for you. And I'm assuming that a lot of that had to do with your head coach, Eric Morris, which I'm assuming is a big reason why you're now headed to Washington State.
Yes, sir, it's a big reason. He was the only coach to take a chance on me out of high school. So I'm forever grateful for what he did for me at UIW. And, I feel like at this point in my career, it was time for me to take that next step, show everyone and prove to myself that I could play at the highest level of college football, the Power 5 level.
Cameron Ward joining us here on the Blitz as he's made his announcement. He is heading to Washington State, leaving UIW, heading up to Wazoo. But Cam, you enter the portal and your phone was ringing off the wall. You took a couple of trips. You went down to Ole Miss. I know you went and visited with Hugh Freeze. You had Houston on the list. You had so many offers. What was the deciding factor for you, especially between Wazoo and Ole Miss and playing for Lane Kiffin?
The deciding factor was really what was the best for me. At the end of the day, my family's going to have their input. I'm also going to have mine. So just knowing that they're going to be able to make every game that I'm going to play in, whether it's at Washington State, UIW, or at Ole Miss, that was really kind of helped my decision, knowing I'll have their support anywhere that I go to continue my football career. And, just with Coach Morris, I know that offense very well. And, with Ole Miss, it's an SEC school, every kid dreams to play in the SEC. But for me, it was more of a business decision.
Well, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to watching Washington State football. Just let me go back to UIW for a minute, Cam, because, again, watching you play football this year, it looked like you were just having a blast. How much fun was this season for you?
It was real fun. I felt like I had the best O-line in the Southern Conference. I felt like we had the best receiver room in the country. So just being able to play with an explosive offense, our defense was on their stuff this year. We had one of the best defenses in Southland. They bailed me out a couple games. So just having that support from them, it was a great coaching staff around me, from our O-line coach, to our quarterbacks coach, the receivers coach. So everyone, we all pitched in. That's why we had an incredible season.
Now, Cam, you heard the conversation we were having before this segment started about receivers, targets, drops, all that kind of stuff. Whose fault is it?
It's the quarterbacks, At the end of the day, we got to throw a perfect ball. If they can't catch it, it's on us.
You're a good man, Cam. You know that. You are a good man,
so
my friend.
What do you say in the locker room?
Yeah, what happens when you're not in public? We won't tell anybody.
The receivers, they'll come up to me. They'll be my bad. I was like, it's my bad, man. I should have thrown a better ball, catchable ball.
Cam, as you think about heading up to Washington State, it's cold up there. It's not the easiest place in the world to get up to. I'm curious when you really thought Washington State was in play, because when Eric Morris took the OC job there, you hit the portal. You had been to Liberty, I believe. You had been to Ole Miss, and it was a while before you tweeted out that you even had an offer from Washington State. Was it a slam dunk for Eric Morris that he was going to be able to get you to go up there, or did you make him work for it?
Kind of both. It's hard to pass up. Like I said, SEC school and Ole Miss. They're going to be top 10 every year that they play. So just I feel having Coach Morris and that relationship that he has with me and my family, I made the best decision for me, and I felt like it'll help me get to where I want to go in life.
And Cam, it seems like it's pretty good timing on your part. The Cougars need a quarterback. I mean, this could be something that you could go in there and slide right in and be starting game one. Am I right?
Yes, sir. I'm going up there, compete for the starting job, and hopefully I win it.
And when you say that, so many quarterbacks have hit the portal. And, throughout this process, you've always been ranked 1, 2, 3 in the portal, depending on what you look at as far as quarterbacks that are available. But hearing other quarterbacks and doing interviews, they wanted to go somewhere where the job was basically guaranteed to them. You keep saying you get to go compete for the starting job, but was that kind of a deciding factor for you? I mean, you don't necessarily have to guarantee me the job, but I get to at least compete to be the starter. I'm not going to go sit and hold a clipboard for a year and wait.
Yes, sir. I'm a big person on competitive. I like to compete. I had to compete to win the starting job at UIW. And just going somewhere where I have a fair shot at competing in Ole Miss and Washington State, I feel like that was a big part of why I chose Washington State, just having a fair shot.
Cam, you weren't highly recruited, obviously, out of high school.
That's an understatement, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Did that put a chip on your shoulder? I mean, did you go into UIW and say, you know what, I'm going to show everybody what they missed out on?
Yes, sir, it did. Put a big chip on my shoulder. But, at the end of the day, you got to control the things that you can control. And, God puts people in a situation that he thinks that they'll be able to get out of.
Well, and I tell you what, for Eric Morris, and you've heard many times the story of recruiting you, and if you guys would have played that fall season, I don't know that you would have been the starting quarterback, at least in week one, or if at any point during a fall season, but you practice all fall because of COVID. You play the spring season and you light it up.
Yes, sir.
And then you got to come back in the fall and play again, and you continue to light it up. An incredible story. And I think, you made the right choice when this morning, after you made the decision yesterday, you might have driven Lane Kiffin to the NFL, because this morning the stories are he's rumored to be in line for some NFL jobs. Man, could you imagine if you had made the decision last night to go to Ole Miss and wake up and hear those rumors today?
Man, it'd been crazy. I think I made the right decision, going to Washington State. I know I did. Just if I would have committed to Ole Miss, that would have happened. I'd be like, dang, man, I didn't expect that.
So where do you head to Pullman, man?
I'll go tomorrow morning, probably leave at 6:30.
Do you have a good coat?
Yes, sir. I got a couple of coats. I should buy some more when I get up there. When I went up there on my visit, it wasn't that cold. The first thing you're gonna notice is the snow, but it wasn't like real windy, so it was doable weather to me.
That will change. My wife is from up there, and her whole family went to Washington State, man. Go like the REI. Invest in a good coat and gloves and earmuffs, man. You're going to need them.
Yes, sir.
Happy for you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck, Cam.
Cameron Ward, quarterback of the Washington State Cougars. Sounds good, doesn't it, man?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Did a lot of great things at UIW. Appreciate the time. Cam Ward joining here in just the process for him of having to go through, enter the portal, and get recruited really for the first time and land where he's landing. It's an incredible story.
Well, and he's going to be uber successful at Washington State. I already know that, man. He's going to be great. And I tell you what, I meant it when I said he was so much fun to watch at UIW this season. I mean, it was just fun to watch. We had complete control of that offense. And he just did a great job, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm just happy for the entire UIW family out there, because, what a season it was for them. And for college football fans here in San Antonio, man, did we have it made? It was fantastic.
Between UIW, UTSA, and Trinity going undefeated, an incredible time for college football. And, Eric Morris leaves. They hire Coach Kenny, who's actually going to be on the Blitz tomorrow, the Southland Conference schedule gets released tomorrow, and or his new are they moving in the new conference next year? I know there's some stuff going on with schedules, but we haven't had a chance to visit with him since he's been hired, and we scheduled that long before we knew Cam was going to make his decision, and they were still in play. I mean, there was, in talking to his dad, the possibility that they could look around and say, you know what, UIW is still the right home for him.
Yeah, and that was on his list. He was considering UIW. But, I think the relationship that he formed with Eric Morris is a huge part of why he's headed to Pullman. And that's just, and again, he's going to be able to fit right in. He's not going to have to learn much because Eric Morris will most likely install the same offense that he ran at UIW.
Well, and you think about the relationship that a coach builds with their players.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one thing when we see a coach on a podium or what they might act like on the sideline. But I think Nick Saban last night in defeat, some of the comments that he made shows why players love playing for Nick Saban. He's not the drill sergeant that everybody thinks he is. He is, but he does have the soft side. On the post-game podium last night, and it always sucks for the losing team.
Sure.
I mean, it doesn't matter what sport, the losing team, players, these college kids go sit up there and you get a bunch of questions and you just lost a championship game. And you're Alabama, you're expected to always win.
Always, yep.
After a couple of his players were on the podium last night, including the quarterback, Nick Saban didn't let them leave when the moderator said, okay, guys, go back to the locker room.
Your time will let you head back to your locker room.
I'd like to say something. Can I say something?
Absolutely.
And he's holding
these two guys that are sitting up here, they're not defined by one game. These guys played great for us all year. They're great competitors. They were great leaders on this team, and they contributed tremendously to the success of this team. And we would not be here without them. All right, and both of them take responsibility for the loss. But both of them contributed in a lot of ways in a positive way to giving us a chance to win and a chance to be here to have an opportunity to win. So I just want to thank them for that and let everybody know how proud I am of these two guys.
One of the real moments for Nick Saban, and you could tell he knew his players were hurting, and they were just abused up there on that podium with what went wrong.
Well, they both accepted responsibility. I mean, that was their comments before. They both said, look, this is on me. And especially the quarterback, he said, hey, this is on me. I should have made more plays. And, it's funny because in sports, we always tend to judge the losing team. What could that guy have done better? What could this guy have done better? But you know what? Every week, one team wins and one team loses, just the way it is. And it's competition. And so it's difficult sometimes, especially when you're talking about college kids, to be that rough on them when they lose a football game or make a mistake that may cost you something in a football game. And I love what Nick Saban did with those two young men last night.
Yeah, great moment after that game. As we continue here on the Blitz, Joe Judge fired by the New York Giants. We'll get into that as we continue here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250. 94.5 FM. Yeah, his Giants career is down the toilet. If that toilet were to get stopped up, all he's got to do is call Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC at 210-651-5899. At Quarter Moon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. They can fix about anything but that Giants offense. They're a full-service plumbing company. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked and they have all the equipment needed for any job, whether it's a faucet leak or a leak in your slab. At Quarter Moon, they do not have commissioned sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And Quarter Moon does have great maintenance programs that ensures your unit is ready for every season. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
We're ready for y'all.
Let's go!
The NFL playoff picture is coming together.
I like it.
Hear it unfold on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
My name is Sue. I'm 58 and I work with kindergartners. I've been overweight all my life. Over the years, my weight led to high cholesterol, joint pain, and body aches. Getting up and down with kids was hard. I couldn't sit on the floor without finding something to help me up. Once I got up, hip pain would prevent me from walking normally. I had heard the Institute for Functional Health commercials for a long time and thought, maybe this will help me. I called and met with Dr. Torres and immediately liked him. He was very personable. I can't explain it, but something finally clicked inside me. After being on his program, I lost 45 pounds, and for the first time in my life, I feel comfortable and am proud of myself. My husband and I have been married 25 years, and I'm now thinner than the day we met. My blood work is optimal, I'm active, better at my job, and I feel in control of my health. This has truly changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Was the guy driving the company van next to you too busy taking the infamous car selfie for his dating app when he wrecked into you? He's still single, but now you're seriously hurt. If you or a loved one is hurt in a wreck with an 18-wheeler or company vehicle, don't call just any dude. Call the dude, the personal injury dude. Mark Poling at Poling Law PLLC at pidude.com. That's pidude.com. Or call 210-201-0303, 24 hours a day.
Viva Fitness! Fiesta Fit Fest is coming to San Antonio, April 8th through the 10th. Get geared up to party and celebrate all things fitness. Headlined by Letap San Antonio, a Tour de France cycling event. Cyclists of all ages. The Letap San Antonio, presented by HEB, is for you. Celebrate the only Tour de France amateur cycling event in the U.S. in 2022. Register today at fiestafitfest.com. Sponsored by HEB, Thomas J. Henry, Michelob Ultra, Valero, University Health, and Expel.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
This tax filing season could be one for the record books. There are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits on the table, and Jackson Hewitt will help make sure you get every one you deserve. Tax credits for being a parent, taking care of a parent, taking classes, and so much more. Don't leave thousands on the table. Jackson Hewitt will make sure you get credit for all you do and get your biggest refund guaranteed. Learn more and find your nearest location at jacksonhewitt.com.
Exciting changes ahead on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. On February 1st, you'll need to retune your radio to 1250 AM and 103.3 FM. Same great programming, stronger signal. We think. Probably not.
Opinions. We got them. Keep them coming. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
So are we allowed to talk about that now? I mean, we had a whole meeting today, and that didn't come up, and I thought it was still hush-hush about us moving to 103.3 FM.
I've already gotten calls about people hearing us on 103.3 from the bleed through.
Yeah, they're doing some testing over there and whatnot. But yes, if Big Voice Guy can say it, then hell, so can I.
Sure.
94.5 is going to become we. So if you go to 103.3 now, and if you're hearing hip hop music, that's what's going to be on 94.5 in a couple of weeks. February is the target date. But, you know, we're at the hands of engineers. And we're moving to 103.3 on the FM.
Dude, I'd like to stay on the air, man. So you cool it with the engineer thing. You know, you don't want to irritate these guys.
They're already irritated.
Well, I know they stay irritated, but I'm saying,
have you ever met an engineer who's not irritated?
I could see Shelton walking by right now and just pulling the plug. Say, there you go, radio boy.
But that would require him to work and actually plug things back in.
Well,
I mean,
after his solitaire game, he will.
Yes, possibly. I mean, it's one of those things. But yeah, we're February 1. I think, is it February 1? That's the target date.
February 1. Sounds like a good date to me.
So we just bought all this new stuff with 94.5 on it. So we're going to get all new stuff again, maybe?
Awesome. Well, that's good. And,
yeah.
And I just hear, and I felt pretty good about this. Everybody says it's a bigger stick.
It's twice as long.
Twice as long. And more powerful.
You gotta have a big stick.
You have to. right? You want to play with the big boys, you got to have a big stick.
And we're getting the big stick just in time for the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Or the big game.
Well, no, we can call it Super Bowl.
Oh,
we can say that?
Yeah, we can. We can say Super Bowl in the context that we're talking about it now.
Okay.
We can't advertise, right?
No, that would be our big game coverage.
Big game coverage. Okay.
I mean, there is such a difference in the rule book. We'll get into that in a minute because we did book all our stuff today. The house.
Yeah, we did.
The cars. No, not the cars. What we book? House and flights.
Flights in house, and yeah, it was an interesting discussion.
It was, and
Yes.
I'm going to tell on you, Joe Reinagle. We'll do that coming up. Another opening in the NFL. Joe Judge out.
Yeah.
Does Jason Garrett get that job?
Oh my gosh.
Clearly he wasn't the problem. They fired him and their offense got worse.
It did. It got worse. But I tell you, there's a lot of big NFL jobs open. When you talk about the Giants, you talk about the Vikings, you talk about the Dolphins.
Well, the Broncos too. And I mean, there's some big jobs out there, some very attractive jobs. The Giants have to get this right.
Oh, man.
They have to.
Yeah.
And as much as I hate to say it, Dan Quinn being a New Jersey guy, does he end up
Dan
there?
Quinn's gone. Okay, he's going to get a job offer. Cowboy fan, just get ready because he's gone. Kellen Moore will be there. I don't think he gets a job.
Can
but
we
I think
send the Giants Kellen Moore?
Well, that's just a revamped version of Jason Garrett, isn't it?
Worked for me. We swapped him this year. But a couple of things. The fact that Joe Judge had his job today to get fired and didn't get fired yesterday is surprising to me.
Surprising that he got the job 2 years ago. I mean, he came out of nowhere.
True, but again, though, I mean, you look at these teams that are bad and why they consistently stay bad is because the constant coaching turnover. And say what you want about Jason Garrett. And I like Jason Garrett. Don't get me wrong.
I do too.
Was I ready for Jason Garrett to be gone? Yes, I was.
Sure.
But I like Jason Garrett. But one of the things Jerry did, and you just saw this in Minnesota, they gave Mike Zimmer 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 years isn't enough. And so you're starting over. What the hell the Dolphins are thinking? Beyond me. That's the head scratcher.
That's the head scratcher because, I mean, I don't know why Brian Flores doesn't have a job already. I guess teams have to go through the motions and they have to interview and go through all that process. But that guy did a great job with a mess in Miami. So, yeah, quality. And I think Deshaun Watson is waiting to see where Brian Flores ends up, maybe to see where he wants to go play.
Well, there's a story in Yahoo today that says Deshaun's main interest in Miami, besides the lifestyle and living in Miami, was playing for Brian Flores. And now that Brian Flores is gone, his interest in Miami isn't the same, depending on who they bring in to hire. So if you're the ownership group, and it kind of felt like the owner was trying to push for Deshaun Watson, do you hire a guy that Deshaun wants so he'll waive his no trade? Or do you hire who you want and let that guy decide if he wants to deal with Deshaun?
I don't know. But what it sounds like, once Deshaun is traded, though, his troubles are going to be over. It sounds like that's going to end sometime this month.
According to for the grand jury stuff, that is expected to end this month. The settlements, reading what I read today, and I'm not a lawyer, so if I'm way off on this, I'll own that. But kind of sounds like they've offered all these ladies what they're going to offer. And some have said, okay, others are holding out. But if the grand jury comes back and says, we're not filing any charges, doesn't it just end there for Deshaun and those ladies get nothing?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they could still try and go get them in a civil lawsuit, but from a criminal aspect, I think it ends.
Well, I would think so, but you're right. I mean, civilly, I guess they could still try and sue and do it that way, but that's what it is anyway. There have been no criminal charges filed. So all these ladies.
Well, I think that's what the grand jury is looking at is
right.
Will there be?
So these lawsuits are civil anyway.
Yes.
So they stay. So it doesn't end, right? They can still sue him.
But I think they lose a lot of their teeth if there's no criminal activity there.
Could be.
And again, I'm not a lawyer. Didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn last night either, so I don't know. But it sounds like, according to Deshaun's camp, at the end of this month, they're ready to get to business and get traded and go on to their new city, and for the most part, leave all of that mess behind them.
Well, of course they are. I mean, the Texans were a mess. Bill O'Brien completely screwed that team.
And he lost last night in a championship game. Go figure.
He lost last night. Not only that, he apparently threw a temper tantrum after a third down play didn't go particularly right.
Of course.
That guy's a mess. He just needs to go away. I mean, he just
the next head coach of the New York Giants.
Yeah,
well, the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Team up with Deshaun.
Then they've got their own problem. Yeah, then Deshaun certainly won't go there. Bill O'Brien is just a disaster. And what he did to that Houston Texans football team, I mean, that should be criminal. There should be a grand jury looking into that. It was criminal what he did to that football team.
He should have been arrested when he traded D-Hop for a bag of chips.
Unbelievable. I mean, just the whole thing. And whatever bonehead made him the general manager and head coach, that never works.
Mr. McNair.
Well, and I hate to call Mr. McNair a bonehead, but that was a bonehead move.
It was.
Boneheaded move for sure. So I don't know. Bill O'Brien, if he gets a job anywhere, then he's got pictures of somebody in compromising positions, because that's the only way that guy should get a job.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with OB. And Pledge brings up the question, if and when the Texans fire David Culley, if they hire Flores, does that change Deshaun's mind? You know what?
No.
The bridge in Houston is burnt and beyond repair.
Yeah, crisp.
I mean, they lined the explosives up like, when you see them taking down buildings or stadiums, and the implosion is there. I see no way Deshaun ever plays for the Houston Texans again.
There's no way he does. He wants to get as far away from the city of Houston as he possibly can.
As most do.
Well, exactly. I agree with that. And sometimes San Antonio's not far enough.
It's the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk will join us coming up at 5:30. If you need your logo on any gear, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over on San Pedro. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, Sammy's Embroidery Club is the place to go, especially if you need some winter gear. All that winter line is on display right now in his massive showroom. If you need jackets done, coats, hoodies, half zips, beanies, he's got all the big name brands: North Face, Eddie Bauer, Nike, Port Authority, and Sam has plenty of inventory in stock. Not many can say that, but Sammy has the items in stock, and he's got your polos, your T-shirts, your hats in stock, including the popular Richardson style cap. He has over 700 uniform lines to choose from, and not just embroidery, silkscreen shirts for any occasion. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. You can call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, get into that massive showroom down on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Every football season history is made.
Prescott walks the dog. Touchdown.
Every football season history is written.
Perfect strike to Amari Cooper.
San Antonio Sports Star has been alongside history as the exclusive voice of the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody knows the Cowboys as we do. Not even close. Catch every touchdown and every play here. Exclusively on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Well, I just did anyways. Fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo, and auto security headquarters has discounts piled to the ceiling. That's right, every store, Austin and San Antonio, and especially the Bandera Road store in San Antonio has discounts on everything. Car stereos, car alarms, and especially the window tint you want. Dark, dark, dark window tint. Also, make your car go thump, 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 mother thump with new subwoofers and an amplifier. That's right. We can even hook it up to your existing factory car stereo. Get to Mother's Window Tint today. Check us out online at motherswindowtint.com or give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Tell your friends. Come on in. We've got those discounts stacked to the ceiling at Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Are you thinking about selling your car? Don't get tricked with 2-minute offers only to spend 4 hours at a dealership. I want you to check out my friends at Car Zeus. It's Rudy J here. Car Zeus is not a dealership, so you don't need to worry about shady sales tactics just to lure you in the door. I'm talking about saving you time and hassle. Simply fill out a form about your car's condition at carzeus.com, and a local agent will text you an offer during business hours. No obligation. Plus, they pay the same day and even provide a courtesy Lyft ride home. That's carzeus.com.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Joe Reinagel, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He's Joe Reinagel. Apparently we went long in the last segment. It really is 5:06.
Is it really? Wow.
Yeah.
We're having so much fun, though.
I blame the producer. Blame Reinagel.
Yeah, blame me.
Sure,
I
why
like
not?
the way that sounds, though, right?
Blame
Now-
Reinagel?
No, well, that too. You
Oh.
can blame me. See, I don't care. Pledge may take that personally, but I don't care.
I'm like the quarterback. It was my fault. It was my fault.
I didn't drop the ball. You threw a bad pass.
I never throw a bad pass.
Yeah,
That was a good back and forth. Why stop the drive? Call a timeout a dumb spot.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Finish it out. Earlier today, we got all our stuff booked for the Super Bowl.
We did.
Got all the guidance from the NFL, all the new stuff, but
Yeah.
got the we've known we were going. It's
Right.
just a matter of when you go. And then of course this trip, buy the insurance.
Yes.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Buy the insurance.
It's in California after all.
So we're looking through houses. And when we travel, because we travel with so many people, it's more efficient, more cost effective to rent a house on VBRO.
Right.
We do that at training camps.
Mhm.
It's just better. Plus with the NFL, their booking system for the Super Bowl especially, we end up you have to book like 9 days, right? And we're not going to be there. We'll be there 6.
Right.
So it's you take all those extra days in there, and then of course they'd be like, "You guys want to share rooms?" Well, no. No. I mean, when was the last time you had to share a room with a grown man?
Never. It's been a while. I would say never, but normally in my experience over the last 25 years, when we travel, we all got our own room.
So we always haven't been that way.
Right.
Which have made for some great road stories.
I'm sure.
But typically, if you're going to spend a week somewhere, you can't share a room. If it was an overnight thing, all right, I get it, right?
Sure.
But for a week, I'm at a point in my life I'm not sharing a room.
Yeah, I don't like you guys that much. I mean, y'all are good guys, but to live 6 days with you in a room,
you need space.
You got to have space.
You got to have space. So we started renting houses after a really
I
bad
love you guys,
experience one time with 3 in a room. That will never happen again. And I think, management understands you can't put, anybody in a room with Thompson for a week. I mean, that's just not safe, right? But we're booking rooms and we're looking at houses, and and again, you put in your search parameters on the different websites, and you're looking around, and it's LA, right? So 2 bedrooms, 3 beds, sleeps 12.
Exactly.
$800 a night. Like, the look on Ryan Eagle's face is, I had a laptop up, Rob had a laptop look, and we're going back and forth. And Joe's just sitting in there trying to be the new guy. All right. But the look on his face is like, what in the hell did I get myself into?
Dude, I'm telling you, the way you guys were talking like that was just something you do. 2 bedrooms, sleeps 20. And so I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Well, you got to snuggle.
Yeah, exactly. What kind of beds are these? So, yeah, I was a little bit concerned. I won't lie to you.
Well, you look in the pictures of one of the ones that I looked at. It said sleeps 8. There's 5 of us going.
Right.
2 bedrooms. It reminded me of being in the Navy. In the Navy on the ship, you had on the ship we called them neighborhoods, but there was 3 bunks, 2 lockers, and then 3 bunks. So like 2 or 3 feet between. So 6 people living in a neighborhood.
Sure.
The way they had those beds stacked in there, that's what it looked like. $900 a night. Like, there's no way in hell.
Yeah, that would be a weird situation. I might have to find a tent on the sidewalk.
well, good luck, because then I was like, well, let me just check what Marriott has.
Yeah.
Because we weren't having a lot of luck initially finding houses, and certainly none close to the crypto.com center, which I do find interesting that I was Googling, because the LA Convention Center is right by Staples. So I'm in my search, I'm like Staples, and nothing's coming up. And then it says, do you mean? Of course, that's what I mean. The damn Staples Center is crypto.com.
Right.
The fact that they've already got that thing fixed in the search engines. But every Marriott hotel in LA is sold out. There was one of their lower brands in like Pasadena for $485 a night for 1 room. I was like, all right. But we did find a lovely house on Melrose.
We did.
We're going to have our Melrose place.
Melrose place. That's going to be nice. You think all those people still live there?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I mean, once you buy in LA, I don't think you move.
I guess not. Or maybe you do. I don't know. These days, it's awfully expensive in LA.
Well, and I'm thinking about, generally when we go to training camp, we have the Miller Lite Beach House. So now we're going to have the Miller Lite Melrose Palace.
It looks like a nice place, all right? And
it did.
So what did that end up being? 3 bedrooms, 4?
I got to look. I think it's 4.
I thought it was
4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Jimenez gets a couch. We all get a room.
If we let him in as in.
If we let him in as in.
Right.
I mean, the reality is the backyard might be where Rudy J ends up sleeping, because that dude will go outside to smoke a cigar and just fall asleep in one of those chairs. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. But the look on Ryan Eagle's face as we were booking,
I was like, man, buyer's remorse.
All of a sudden, Super Bowl.
Wow.
Can't do that at this point.
It's going to be fun. I tell you what, and I would just say this, because Radio Row was always the place that us TV guys would go, because that's where all the stars are.
Yeah.
They're always hanging out doing radio interviews. And so that's where we would go and just kind of, buzzard off of you radio guys.
Yeah,
as soon
us
as
radio types.
That's exactly right. So that's what we would do. And it worked out great, because you get some big name stars who get up from a radio interview, and you're standing there waiting, and it's like, hey, Mr. Aikman, can we get a quick interview? And 9 times out of 10, we'd get it. Sometimes you wouldn't. And I hate to say this, because I was a huge fan growing up of this guy, and I like the guy, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Perfect. Here we go.
Joe Montana was a real donkey. Okay.
Really?
A real donkey. I mean, he really was. And his guy, we talked to his handler, and he said, yeah, no problem. He'll do it. Man, Joe Montana got up from that radio interview, and I've never seen him run that. He never ran that fast on the football field, but he got away from us as quick as you could say nothing. And we're walking after him. Like, well, I guess he wants to go out here to do it.
Well, did he have to pee?
No, I don't think so. Maybe.
I mean, the reality is those guys are on such a schedule.
If he had to pee, he never came out of there, so it must have been a
well,
good one.
all right. I mean, he had to go too. I mean, if he had to run, I mean, that's kind of what it boils down to. But a lot of times, those guys, it's going to be fun for you because it's going to be your first rodeo, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
The contacts that you have, you start scheduling all these interviews. And so and so is coming at this time. Well, he's got, and they might schedule 4 interviews or 5 interviews in an hour, and like, all right, you've got 8 minutes with this guy. You got 12, but we always go long. Everybody always goes long.
Of course.
And then they've got to get from A to B. And then a couple of years ago, the NFL decided to let fans in on Radio Row.
Yeah.
So now we're in Penn, so they're not like by our tables, but it's hard for them to get from like one section, say the ESPN section over to the CBS section or vice versa.
Right.
Because all the fans are in there stopping them for autographs. And so all the hoopla, or it's a convention, they'll see somebody they haven't seen in a while and they're saying hi to their friends, an old teammate or whatever the case is. And it's just a lot of fun, man. The adrenaline rush of Radio Row. I cannot wait to get to LA after missing last year. And I've done that with a lot of the things that we missed last year because of COVID. The extra appreciation you have for going to those kind of events and doing those kind of events is a lot of fun. And quite frankly, we've been going a long time. Radio Row, it sounds like, based on the NFL email today, is going to be smaller than it has been.
Yeah.
Not everybody that normally goes is getting to go this year. Not everybody got approved because I guess they're going to limit the number of stations in there so there can be more space between
That's what
tables,
it sounded like.
which is perfect because, the year in New York, everybody was right. You couldn't barely walk through the room because they had everybody crammed in to such a small, tight space. And ironically, it was that way in Minnesota at the Mall of America, which was a disaster. Being in the food court at the Mall of America for Radio Row.
I'm looking forward to it. And then, but I'm really anxious to, you never really know somebody until you live with them.
True.
So I'm going to get to know you, Rob, and Rudy very well. I have a feeling.
I think it's the other way around. We're going to get to know Reinagel.
Well, maybe that's
on
the
a
case.
very
I don't know.
different level. Because Rob, he's the same no matter what.
Doesn't matter.
I can tell you now, there's going to be a night of heavy drinking.
Just one?
Well, no, there was only one where Rob is going to do laundry at 2 a.m. and then iron everybody's clothes.
Okay, gotcha.
That seems to happen.
That's what he does
every year.
Well, good. I look forward to that.
Rudy will be asleep in the car before we're out of the parking lot. Every damn time. That guy can fall asleep like that. It just is what it is that way.
I'm just sad there's no hot dog carts in Los Angeles because I hear that Rudy's got he likes hot dog carts.
Rudy does.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, and the good news is, in the photos of the house that we're getting, has a grill in the backyard.
Yes, it does. I saw that.
And that's the other cool part about getting a house versus a hotel is, after the grind, a lot of times, man, we're eating at the house.
Well, yeah. And that was a training camp tradition for us. You guys would invite me and Marcus or me and whoever was there, Vinny. And
we never invited Vinny for a reason.
Well, he came, though. He came.
I'm kidding.
Right. He would tag along. No, of course. But that was a tradition.
We would always have a party with all the media. Yeah.
And we would go to the grocery store, buy our own steak, bring it over to the house, the Miller Lite Beach House.
Yep.
And you guys would fire up there. Rob usually cooked. You didn't do anything. I still haven't seen you barbecue anything. At the Miller Lite Beach House, you didn't barbecue. Thompson did.
I didn't know how to barbecue then.
Oh, my gosh.
But Rob loves that stuff. Rob loves cooking and then watching everybody else eat. Because by then he's all sweaty and in a mess and
what a nice
too
guy.
hot to eat. But I didn't know how to grill back then. Now I do.
Dude, it's a Walmart grill. What is there to know? You put charcoal in it, you light it on fire, you let it get hot, and you throw the piece of meat on there.
Yeah, and before COVID, when I used to do that kind of thing, it always ended with a Papa John's delivery. I swear to God, man, I couldn't do squat on the grill.
Let me tell you something. Okay, those Walmart grills, top notch.
Yeah.
I bought a Walmart grill and was going to have it. I figure it's disposable, right?
Yeah.
Maggie's daughter was coming in. It's the first time I was going to meet her boyfriend. She was living in an apartment complex. So go and buy this Walmart grill.
Low propane grill or
charcoal? It's a little blue charcoal thing, right? With wheels on it.
Yeah.
$40.
Big spender.
Right. $40. Well, I'm thinking I'm going to use it once. Right. I still have that thing. And I don't know how many times I've grilled on it.
Yeah. But what are you doing? Hot dogs?
No. Steaks.
All right.
I've done steaks on there. I've done hot dogs. I've done hamburgers. And it's always turned out.
We've got to up your grill game a little bit.
Well, I have to. We're waiting to invest in I want a Traeger. That's what I want. And so I'm going to get that. But we have to do a couple of things at the house first.
Get it backyard ready.
To make room for that and to get it ready. But for now, Walmart, baby, $40.
I'm with you.
I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing.
Yeah, just get some fire going.
You got a little fire going.
You're good.
The most important thing is Tri-County.
Yeah.
Right. So you get the meat, and then just don't screw it up on the Walmart grill. But it works, and that's what the rent house had. The picture of that was a Walmart grill. I may be doing the grilling.
It wasn't fancy, but look, if you want the cooking duties, because I don't mind being on drinking duties. I mean that's the reality. Although the drinking part and the cooking part and the grilling part is
they kind of go hand in hand.
They kind of go hand in hand. And Thompson makes really good breakfast, by the way. Although I don't know that we'll get it because those guys, and they went through this at training camp.
Yeah.
I think you and I are going to be on our own a bit during Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm almost embarrassed to say this, especially since Rob and Rudy aren't here to defend themselves.
That's okay.
But we had two of our earliest nights in the history of this station being out on the road somewhere, because they're on from 7 to 10 here.
Yeah.
Well, that's 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. California time.
That's early.
Now in Oxnard, our crap hotel, because VBRO canceled us right before we went, and the piece of hotel we found, it was, 15 minutes away. Those guys were getting up at 3.
Ooh.
8 o'clock, we'd be at dinner. Those boys were falling asleep at dinner. It was dark, and Rob's like, all right, it's time to go. And I was like, Rob, dude, it's like 8 o'clock. He's like, it's only 8? Feels like 11. I got to go to bed.
Well, you were on your own then.
I was on my own.
Right. So you got a partner now. So
yeah. So I mean, but 2 nights we were in early. Now, one of those nights, Rudy and I stayed up drinking, and so that was good. But Rob was going to bed early. So now we're in LA. Traffic sucks. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. It's going to be awful. And our rent house, or whatever you call it, is 7 miles away, it looks like, from the convention center. So LA traffic, that's a good hour.
Yeah, at least. Yes.
And then you got to deal with Super Bowl security.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are going to leave the bar and go straight to work.
They're going to have to. But they're off at 8 o'clock. They go home
in the morning. Yeah,
go
they're
to bed. They
can
just sleep all day.
Basically, they're going to be like doing overnight.
That's exactly right.
As long as they pick us up at 5 when our shift is over, because our show will be 2 to 5 out there. Which is great.
Banker's hours, huh?
versus being on the East Coast.
Yeah.
When you go till 8 p.m.
Right.
And all the parties start at 7.
Yeah.
That's the downside. Anybody got some cheese to go with the wine?
Exactly. I can hear everybody crying for us now. It's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
What are the odds they sleep through an alarm and y'all have to take an Uber back to the beach house?
100%.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
It's either they're going to sleep through an alarm, or, man, I'm looking at my traffic app, man. It'll be faster for you guys.
Just get an Uber.
It'll be faster for you guys just to Uber this way, man. We'll meet you at the party. Because the Tuesday, Thursday, Friday are the big party nights that we have already, or at least I don't want to say secured, but I'm already working to get that.
Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know these things, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening.
Well, just keep in mind,
as long as Tony Parker's not rapping, we'll be okay.
That's not going to happen.
That's good.
Super Bowl. That was awful. Well, we might have to tell that story at some point. We might see some bad rap while we're out there. maybe Drake will have a nice song about hot sauce
Yeah.
by a Super Bowl party.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure that's going to turn into a song for him. It better turn into a song for him. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google Drake and hot sauce and start laughing. Just make sure your kids aren't around.
Yeah, because I don't know what you're talking about. I got to Google that.
Just careful with your search on the company Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk joins us next. We won't talk to her about Drake. I can promise you that. Hey, let me tell you about Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. If you're shopping for a new vehicle, you know there's no better place to go than Ancira, and I can tell you that firsthand because I am a longtime Ancira customer. I've had, through the years, many vehicles from Ancira, including one that we have now, my daughter's car. Half the people at the radio station here drive vehicles from Ancira, and it's because of their great customer service before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. That is why Ancira is such a top family-run dealership and has been in San Antonio for decades. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with all the options and features that you're looking for. They will give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available. And you know price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner. Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk joins us after Sports Center and James Pledger.
Thanks, Jason. In the NBA, the Spurs fell last night to the New York Knicks, 111-96, their seventh loss in their last 8 games, and third straight as DeJounte Murray led San Antonio with 24 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. The Spurs are now 15-25 on the year and return to action tomorrow when they take on the Rockets. The 19th-ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders gauntlet continues as they start Big 12 play. After facing both Iowa State and Kansas to kick things off, they now sit at 11-3 and 1-1 in the Big 12 and will face top-ranked and undefeated Baylor tonight at 6 in Waco. The Texas A&M Aggies are 13-2 and 2-0 in the SEC, winners of 6 straight as they take on 9-5 and 1-1 Ole Miss in College Station. You can catch that game right here on your home for Texas A&M basketball, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. It all starts at 7 right after the Blitz with the pregame with tip-off from Reed Arena set for 7:30. The 21st-ranked Longhorns look to bounce back from the loss to Oklahoma State as they take on the Oklahoma Sooners and a battle of teams that are 12-3 and 2-1 in the Big 12. Tip-off from Austin is set for 7:30 and it'll be televised on the Longhorn Network. Well, finally in the NFL, Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn has got interest from the Broncos, Dolphins, Bears, while Kellen Moore has interest from the Dolphins, Broncos, and Jaguars. I'm James Pledger.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 27 years, I have represented people in our community who have been injured because of negligent drivers of cars, 18-wheelers, and company vehicles. I really want you to know that if you're involved in a collision, you need to contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. All you may know about an insurance company is what you see on television. If you have ever been forced to make a claim after being injured in an auto collision, there are no jokes, no geckos, no cavemen, no professional athlete endorsers. Just you against a giant insurance company that is represented by skilled adjusters and attorneys who have one job: pay as little as possible. If you've been injured in a collision, please contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. I, of course, want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com. That's all one word, alawyerforus.com.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo, and auto security headquarters has discounts piled to the ceiling. That's right, every store, Austin and San Antonio, and especially the Bandera Road store in San Antonio has discounts on everything. Car stereos, car alarms, and especially the window tint you want. Dark, dark, dark window tint. Also, make your car go thump, 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 mother thump with new subwoofers and an amplifier. That's right. We can even hook it up to your existing factory car stereo. Get to Mother's Window Tint today. Check us out online at motherswindowtint.com or give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Tell your friends. Come on in. We've got those discounts stacked to the ceiling at Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
I need postcards printed and designed. Oh, and a targeted direct mail campaign.
It's possible at Staples.
I need my presentation printed, bound, and perfect.
Also possible. Your local Staples store can help your business navigate the future of work with custom printed sales and marketing materials. Now get 25% off custom printed labels, postcards, flyers, brochures, and more when you spend $60 or more. Explore what's new at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 1/29 in store only. See staples.com/print for details.
Second it takes. The Blitz with Joe Reinagel and Jason Minix. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. I'm Jason Minix. He is Joe Reinagel. Cowboys, 49ers, Sunday playoffs are here. Let's talk about it. Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk on Twitter at NFL Charean. Yeah, Charean, when, the Cowboys decided to play everything Saturday, most of us didn't think they would move out of the 4 spot. Got to give Mike McCarthy credit there, because in my wildest imagination, I didn't think we'd be talking about Cowboys and Niners and going back to the 90s or the 80s for some of those great games, just the rivalry that is in the postseason.
Yeah, I'm not sure which team you'd rather play. The 49ers obviously are coming in hotter to the playoffs than the Cardinals are, but you lost to the Cardinals 2 weeks ago. That was the only win they've had in the last 5 games. So, I'm not sure which is a better matchup for the Cowboys. I think I would rather have the 49ers, but, they do have an awful lot of weapons that you're going to have to contend with, starting with Deebo Samuel. And then, on the flip side, you've got to deal with Bosa over there and some other great defensive players like Fred Warner. So, yeah, it gives you a chance, at least in the second round, to potentially maybe host a game where you didn't really have that chance at the 4 seed realistically. So they got to take care of business this week, and then we'll see what happens. But I think I would rather play Jimmy Garoppolo than Kyler Murray. So that's why I think it was probably a better option for them.
Yeah, especially with Murray's record at AT&T Stadium. It's pretty good, I think, right? Undefeated. The thing that worries me a little bit about the Niners, though, Charean, is Eli Mitchell and that running game in particular. We saw what the Cardinals were able to do on the ground against the Cowboys when they came in there. Does that concern you, and is that something the Cowboys will be talking about this week?
Oh, there's no question, especially when you go back and you look the year that the 49ers went to the Super Bowl. That's what they did. If you remember that year, Kyle Shanahan lost complete trust in Jimmy Garoppolo, and they went straight to the run game and just ran like crazy. And what I've always admired about Kyle Shanahan's teams is it doesn't matter who they put in at running back. It just seems like those guys are, you can just put anyone in and they get 100 yards in a game. And you look at all the running backs that he's had, since he's been there. It's just one after another. They seem to be interchangeable when you look at what they've done. But Elijah Mitchell has had a good rookie season. He's done very well. He's, not what I don't think expected. Didn't expect him probably as a 5th-round draft pick to supplant Trey Sermon, who's coming back. The 3rd-round draft pick and be better than he is, and he has been. He's been very, very good. So they're going to look to run the ball. They've got a fantastic offensive line. I just voted for my All-Pro team, and I had Trent Williams over there as the left tackle on that team. He's been consistently throughout 17 games, 18 weeks. He's been the best left tackle in the league. So, yes, the Cowboys will have to first stop the run, and then if they do that, then you get in some favorable situations with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Charean, as I think about the Cowboys stopping the run, and I know they scored 51 points in that win over Philadelphia Saturday night. They did allow 26, and I know some guys weren't there, but I saw a Philadelphia backups on their offensive line pushing around that Cowboys defense a little more than I would have liked. I was surprised at how well Philly was able to run the ball. And then you think about a matchup with San Francisco. How much should we read into that final game of the season, especially on the defensive side, considering how they played the entire year?
Yeah, well, Michael Parsons wasn't there, and it just tells you how good he is and the consideration that he probably gets as defensive player of the year. He was that good. He is in the conversation when you talk about that, along with TJ Watt, along with Myles Garrett, along with Aaron Donald, who maybe the award should be named after because you could put him in there every single year and feel good about your vote. But yeah, he's right up there with all those guys. And when you take a guy like that out of your defense, it just makes a huge difference. So you put him back in and you put some of the players back in the secondary that they were missing, and it's a different defense than what we saw on Saturday night. So I wouldn't read too much into what they did or didn't do against Gardner Minshew and that Eagles offense.
When you look at it, I thought one of the storylines coming out of last week, Charean, was the fact that the Rams say they were surprised by how many 49er fans were in that stadium that day. Yeah. Obviously, they travel well, and that's a California thing. But, the 49ers are one of those teams that have fans all over the place. You think the Cowboys might see a bunch of 49er fans on Sunday?
Well, Jerry talked about that today on the radio. He hopes to get 100,000 in there with standing room only, and he hopes that the 49ers don't take over the stadium, but they do expect some 49ers fans in there. And that was the thing. You're right. They had to go to the silent count at home. The Rams did. Were really surprised in the second half how loud it was when they were on offense. So that's something the Cowboys will have to be prepared for. If that happens, if there are a ton of 49ers fans in that stadium. By the way, 40th anniversary of the catch was yesterday.
Wow.
So a lot of great history between these two teams in the postseason, and we're going to see that hopefully again on Sunday.
Now, one serious note that the Cowboys have in their game notes, 2-0 at home in the playoffs against San Francisco. And I read that and I went, as many playoff games as I think I remember. Yeah. They were also all been in San Francisco, right? I mean, it's crazy when you think about it that way. And you talk about the run game and you talk about fans, and Jerry said, and the Cowboys trying to have a white out. So if you're going to the game up there, wear white. Does it come down to the Cowboys and takeaways? They led the league with 34 takeaways. Jimmy Garoppolo, when he throws an interception, the Niners are 2-6. When he's gone a game without throwing an interception, they are 7-0. Is that what it boils down to? Diggs needs to just go get one?
Yeah, I think you saw the difference in that Cardinals game when they dropped some interceptions that they could have had. You've got to take advantage of those opportunities, and I do think that if they can force some Jimmy Garoppolo interceptions, they obviously will be better off. And it usually boils down to turnovers, frankly, and again, I think that's why you're going to see the 49ers. I'm going to be surprised if they don't come out and try to establish the run with Elijah Mitchell and a lot of what Deebo Samuel does too. You're going to see him run the ball some. So I'd be very surprised if they don't try to establish that early. And if they're able to run the ball, maybe you're looking at what we saw in Alabama in the semifinal game when they came out and ran the ball all the way down the field on that first drive. I think the 49ers will try to do that early, and if the Cowboys can stop that, then they're going to be in much better shape, and then maybe they do get some of those turnovers. But they've been very, very good at forcing the turnovers this season. It's been a key to what they've been able to do, some short fields and all of that. And the offense has been much better. They're on a streak now of scoring when they get in the red zone. They had a long many games there when they couldn't get into the end zone once they got into the red zone. And now they're scoring touchdowns when they get in the red zone. So I lost track. It was 12, and I think they scored twice more. So I think it's up to 14 straight or somewhere in there. So that they're really being able to score those touchdowns, and that's going to make a huge difference too. And I tell you what, with Greg Zuerlien and the way he's kicking or not kicking, I don't want it to come. If I'm the Cowboys, I don't want this thing to come down to a last-second field goal because I don't trust him to get that done.
Charean, I want to get on board. I want to get excited about the Cowboys going into the playoffs. I really do. But I just don't know what to expect from this football team from Sunday to Sunday. Some days, like last week, like against the football team in Washington, they look fantastic. And then you've got the Arizona game. And I just don't know what to expect from Sunday to Sunday out of this football team.
Well, since the Patriots game, they're 0-for against teams above 500. So that's why you can't trust them, or they were until the Eagles game. And I guess we kind of throw that one out simply because the Eagles obviously didn't play their quarterback and a bunch of other guys who were out of that game. So I would kind of throw that game out. But when it's been starters on starters, they haven't beaten a team above 500 since that Patriots game. And that was, to me, kind of their signature win. So that's why you can't trust them, just because we haven't seen it. We haven't seen them get that done when they needed to get that done against the best teams in the league. So I expect them to win on Sunday. I'm not going to be surprised if they lose. I expect them to win. Can they go win 3 games? Probably the last 2 on the road. I don't know. That's asking a lot, I think, from this team to go be able to do that. And I know they're a better team at home than they've been on the road this year too. So I don't trust them to go win 3 games in the postseason to get it done, to get back to the Super Bowl, but they certainly have it in them. They have the talent to do that. They're just going to have to play at a high level. They're not going to be able to have penalties, and they're going to have to win, as we've talked about, the turnover battle. And if they can do those 2 things, then I think they do have chances to win the next 3 games. But it's asking an awful lot of them, I think, to go do that, especially when you're talking about the Packers have a chance to get rested, get a bye. Next week, they're at home against somebody possibly who knows who that's going to be based on, I think, some of these wild cards are going to have a chance to win. And the week after that, they would host a championship game if they're able to win that 1 game. So they certainly have an easier path to the Super Bowl than any other team in the NFC. But we saw the Bucs last year go through as a wild card team.
It's interesting that the regular season is over. We have all these question marks and a lack of trust in a football team that led the league in scoring and led the league in takeaways, but they also killed themselves with a bunch of penalties. And Charean, you mentioned penalties. Alex Kemp and his crew is going to be there. They rank 6 in penalties out of these 17 crews. But one of the interesting notes I saw on Twitter, and I trust who I was reading on Twitter, I just don't have it in front of me. They tend to throw flags on the road team more than the home team.
Well, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that it's an all-star crew. I think they do all-star crews in this round, don't they? I don't think it's the same crew that he's had all year. I think it might be an all-star crew. I could be wrong. Maybe that's just later in the postseason.
So Alex is just the crew chief then?
Yeah, I'm not positive on that. Now that I've said that, I'm not. I'll have to check on that. I'll get back to you on that. They may do the all-star crews later in the postseason, like the championship games of the Super Bowl. But yeah, I mean, you do have to worry about who your officials are, how they've called this year, and the NFL, frankly, likes more penalties than less penalties. So you're going to have that. So you're going to stay away from some of those penalties, some of those drive-killing penalties, or on the other side, penalties that help keep alive drives by the other team. So those things are just key in the postseasons. You know, every play is just exaggerated. in the postseason. It's kind of what we saw with the Raiders and Chargers on Sunday night. That was a good appetizer for going into the postseason. But you just saw it, like every play was just so crucial. How many times the Raiders have an opportunity to end the game with a fourth down stop, and they just couldn't get it done. And so, you just look at that and you go, that's how the postseason is going to be. Like, penalties and turnovers are just going to be so huge in these games, and one play really and truly could make a difference.
Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk joining us here on the Blitz, as she does every Tuesday, and always appreciate the time that she gives us and the knowledge that she delivers. A knucklehead question that, Charean, maybe you have the answer to, but I mean, this game is going to be on Amazon Prime. This game is going to be on Nickelodeon, and this game is going to be on CBS. Basically, they put the Cowboys anywhere they have an opportunity, but CBS, I love the fact that Tony Romo is going to be a part of the broadcast, but how does Fox let CBS have Cowboys and Niners on Sunday afternoon?
I'm sure it was a huge fight. And like I said last week, I think it was, that the Cowboys thought they were going to be on Saturday night. So I am shocked it's not a Saturday night or a Sunday night game and that we didn't get it at NBC. And I'm sure there was a huge fight among all the networks to get the Cowboys. Because you saw they considered the broadcast on Saturday night as Monday Night Football. It was one of their biggest broadcasts ever. I mean, it's just when the Cowboys play, people are going to tune in. But I am surprised, like you said, that CBS got this game and Fox or NBC didn't get this game, because I just assumed that it was going to be probably a night game, and if not a night game, then Fox was going to have it in the time slot that it was in. There were 3 potential time slots that it was going to go into, and I would have picked one of the night slots first, and then the 3:30 start as the third slot that they would go into. But they're going to get huge ratings. We know that. No doubt. I think Romo kicked in half his salary to get that game on CBS.
If you know Tony, he didn't kick in $1. Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk. Make sure you're following her on Twitter at NFL Charean. Always appreciate the time, Charean. We'll talk to you next week, hopefully about on to the second round of the playoffs.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Charean Williams from Pro Football Talk. It is crazy. And if you're CBS, do you really want a split audience with Nickelodeon? Do you? And it's also on Amazon Prime Video. Now, I'm going to the games. I'm not going to be watching any of them, but Hannah Storm and Andrea Kramer are going to be on the broadcast for the Amazon Prime. That's going to be interesting. The Nickelodeon deal, when they did that one game, it was kind of fun for a few minutes, but I can't watch football that way. But it's not on Nickelodeon for me.
Well, CBS owns Nickelodeon.
Sure.
Okay, so that's
but you're still but you're still cutting ratings from your main CBS broadcast, or trying to, right?
What you're hoping to do, though, there is you're going to get some younger viewers, maybe, okay? And parents will tune into Nickelodeon, and the NFL and all its glory will think that they're going to be football fans from here on out. Look, I think it's terrible. I'm not a,
you put bad teams on Nickelodeon, and you try to get your kids to watch that. Every great Cowboy fan raising their kids the right way makes them sit down on the couch and watch the Cowboys on the traditional broadcast.
Well, then you watch Channel 5, and what's the problem? Just don't even tune it in.
But the Nickelodeon, I mean, that I'm sure, like over at Channel 5, they can't be thrilled that some of that ratings and it could be split somewhere else. I want the exclusive.
Let me tell you what, and I will bring in a copy of the ratings for Sunday afternoon, and it will be enormous.
Oh, yeah.
It will blow your mind.
Absolutely.
I always tell people, because a lot of people and the handful of Texan fans that are in this town of San Antonio, like
Both
Pledge, yeah. They'll I'll get an email from time to time. Well, why do you devote so much time to the Dallas Cowboys? You probably get the same thing here, because we devote a lot of time to the Dallas Cowboys. And that's why. The ratings, the fans in San Antonio are enormous. And if you're not devoting this much time to the Dallas Cowboys, you're doing those fans a disservice. It is what it is. San Antonio is a Dallas Cowboy city. It is, and Jerry Jones has admitted this, and anybody that knows the Dallas Cowboys.
It's stats. I mean, Jerry told me again in Oxnard, because he told me years ago this, and I asked him, in August when we were out at training camp, more Cowboy fans in San Antonio per capita than in DFW.
That's exactly right. So here's what happened, and I know the answer to this. I think. Okay, I'm not going to go.
I know. I think
I'm not going to go 100%, but I'm pretty close. CBS had the choice. They had that time slot, and I know a night game is better, but think about it. When is the game of the week always? Sunday afternoon, 3:30 kickoff.
That's the best.
That's the best. So that's the time slot. CBS had the choice. It was already figured out that they had that time slot, and they had the choice of the game that they wanted. They picked the Cowboys 49ers, and why wouldn't they?
I just, as a Cowboy fan, every time the game's on CBS, I go, I just, because the NFC is on Fox, I start there, and then I go hunt. Even when I know and I talk all week and remind people, hey, the game's on CBS this week. It's just bizarre that they have gone away from the exclusive. AFC games on CBS, NFC games on Fox, and now when you got to hunt for them, it's just
you're going to
odd.
see that a lot more coming up because they're going to split. That's going to be a trend moving forward. There will be AFC games on Fox. There'll be NFC games on CBS,
and I'm sure the announcers appreciate it. But as a fan, I like to know where I'm going.
Dude, if you don't know where you're going, you're in trouble.
It's been that way for a long time, brother.
It certainly
it's
has.
Just part of it.
Let's see. I got Fox or CBS. It's not on Fox. I guess it's on CBS.
Pretty much.
Okay. There you go. Problem solved. What, do you miss the first quarter?
I don't miss a second. I don't miss a second when it comes to Cowboys football. When the Cowboys aren't playing, I'm on Red Zone, and I let Andrew Siciliano flip the channels for me.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, that's hard to watch.
All right.
That's hard to watch.
Andrew or just Red Zone?
Andrew and Red Zone. Because I want to get into a game. Right? And I get the whole fantasy football thing, and you want to see what your players are doing, but I want to watch a football game. Now, I'll flip between the two, and for a long time I had DirecTV, so I could watch the Titans anytime I wanted, or whatever game, depending on who I had playing in fantasy football.
Yeah,
I like to get invested in a game. Okay, I don't the red zone thing, this and that. I'm just not into it. I want to see a football game.
If there's a game on that I want to get into, I'll get into it, but come back to red zone. But start to finish. It's been a while since I've watched, besides the Cowboys.
Dude, I'd watch the Giants and the Jets if that was my choice. Because I want to watch
you're
football.
Too lazy to change the
I want to watch football.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Spurs lost again last night. We'll tell you about it as we continue here on San Antonio Sports Star. Let me tell you about River City Oral Surgery. If you need your wisdom teeth out, a tooth pulled, dental implants, you need Dr. Mark Havercorn at River City Oral Surgery. He offers direct patient care. You don't need a referral. You simply call and make an appointment. 210-778-0002 is the phone number. And all prices, they're listed right there on the website, rivercityoms.com. And that's what direct patient care means. It's cash. It's free market medicine, which is the way to go. You know exactly what you're going to pay. All prices are all inclusive, including your post-op care. If you have dental insurance, he's still probably going to be less expensive, and you can file a claim and maybe get some money back. You know exactly what you're going to pay. You know you're going to get great care. River City Oral Surgery is a full-scope oral surgery practice on 1604 near I-10, basically across the highway from Topgolf. Call 210-778-0002, 778-0002, or go to the website rivercityoms.com, rivercityoms.com for River City Oral Surgery.
It's heart-stopping, rim-wrecking, ball-arching action.
All three, got it!
College hoops are happening, and we've got the action and excitement you love. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients.
Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
A new year comes with new excitement, new ambitions, new milestones. Is this the year you pop the question, have a child? Celebrate a major anniversary. At Diamonds Direct, we're here for you, now more than ever. With our vast selection of exquisite hand-picked diamonds, our world-renowned designer jewelry collections, our industry-leading warranties and guarantees, and our people. People with a passion for helping you mark any occasion with something that's both meaningful and timeless. And our commitment to providing exceptional value is stronger than ever in the new year. Whether you're just starting out on a tight budget or whether you're splurging on that 30th anniversary gift, Diamonds Direct will make sure you get the price that you expect from America's premier direct diamond importer. Welcome to a new year and welcome to Diamonds Direct, where extreme value combines with the ultimate luxury shopping experience to create that truly magical moment for the milestones in your life. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at Lock Ontario.
Was the guy who wrecked the company vehicle distracted because he was too busy making a TikTok video instead of watching the road? He still only has 2 followers, his mom and dad. But now you're hurt and need help. If you or a loved one is hurt in a wreck, don't call just any dude. Call the dude. The personal injury dude. Mark Poling at Poling Law PLLC at pidude.com. That's pidude.com. Or call 210-201-0303 24 hours a day.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 11 locations and check out the new Kubota L2501 package deal, which includes a 4-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box blade, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package specials at ewaldkubota.com.
Sunday, the Cowboys are digging for a win against the 49ers. Pre-game 2:30, kickoff 3:30, live from AT&T Stadium on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson on your home for Rangers baseball, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
New year, new cash contest. You can win yourself $1,000. All you got to do is go to sasportstar.com, click on the New Year, New Cash banner right there on the main page under the giveaway tab. Register. That's simple. Just another way it pays to listen to San Antonio Sports Star all day, every day. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Watching the national championship game last night at the Rue Pub, they did have a couple of the TVs on the Spurs game. At one point, Rob Thompson looked up and said, "Who's that at the free throw line?" That's where the Spurs are right now. They lost again last night. Brutal road trip, but with all the COVIDs, I don't know if anybody was expecting much more.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it's hard to expect that when you've got 4 of your top guys out right now. It's difficult. That'd be difficult for any team. They were 1-6 on that 7-game road trip. The good news is, though, Jason, they've got 12 of the next 14 inside the AT&T Center.
And then they go on the rodeo road trip, and this 7-gamer kind of felt like a mini rodeo road trip,
really
or a full rodeo road trip. Really, I mean,
yeah,
a lot of games away from home, but then this long homestand coming up, get some players back, and who knows?
Well, they should get some players back really soon. I mean, I think, I don't think, I know Pop said all his guys were vaccinated.
Yep.
So with the new rules, if you're vaccinated and you're showing no symptoms, then you can come back quicker than somebody else. I think it's 6 days. So that's got to be coming up. I mean, I know we were talking about this last week. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday when we reported that Derek White and Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson were all out of action. And so, and Doug McBuckets, that guy's been out a lot longer than the other guy. So he ought to be coming back pretty soon too. So all of that's going to help them a little bit. And the good news is, or however you're looking at this, the Spurs are only a game out of a playoff spot. Despite all that's happened this season, they're 1 game out of a playoff spot. So, the playoffs are certainly within reach, and they've got time.
It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out for the San Antonio Spurs. And again, long homestand coming up for the Silver and Black. As we continue here on the Blitz, we've got our injury update, an update on Deshaun Watson. Of course, we'll talk Cowboys and that national championship game. Speaking of injuries, they do happen. If you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries, and he has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There's no reason for you to be in pain. If you're hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. You can schedule an appointment by calling 210-804-5490, 804-5490, or simply go online, tsaog.com.
It's time to get your hoops on. The NBA season is off to a fast start. North, south, east, west. Step back for three. Bang, got it. The courts are firing with board busting and rim wrecking in your face balling. Deep three straight away. Oh, we got another one. And we got it all covered. Everything a fan like you wants, and then some.
Hammers a right-hand dunk.
Get the latest on your game on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson, owner of the Thompson Law Firm right here in San Antonio. And for the past 27 years, I have represented people in our community who have been injured because of negligent drivers of cars, 18-wheelers, and company vehicles. I really want you to know that if you're involved in a collision, you need to contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. All you may know about an insurance company is what you see on television. If you have ever been forced to make a claim after being injured in an auto collision, there are no jokes, no geckos, no cavemen, no professional athlete endorsers. Just you against a giant insurance company that is represented by skilled adjusters and attorneys who have one job: pay as little as possible. If you've been injured in a collision, please contact an experienced attorney as soon as possible after the collision. I, of course, want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website, alawyerforus.com. That's all one word, alawyerforus.com.
These are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo and auto security headquarters has discounts piled to the ceiling. That's right, every store, Austin and San Antonio, and especially the Bandera Road store in San Antonio has discounts on everything. Car stereos, car alarms, and especially the window tint you want. Dark, dark, dark window tint. Also, make your car go thump, 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 mother thump with new subwoofers and an amplifier. That's right. We can even hook it up to your existing factory car stereo. Get to Mother's Window Tint today. Check us out online at motherswindowtint.com or give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Tell your friends. Come on in. We've got those discounts stacked to the ceiling at Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Joe Reinagle, Jason Minix, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. He is Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. National championship game last night was an incredible football game. At least the second half turned to be an incredible football game. But, man, we saw something in that game that nobody likes to see. Let's talk about it. It's time for our injury update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics online at tsaog.com. Welcome in Dr. Lane Nauer. And, Doc, watching that game last night, Alabama wide receiver Jameson Williams makes the and like literally we all watched his leg explode As an orthopedic type, did you know exactly what you saw when you saw that?
I did. It was, the sadist or the orthopedic surgeon in me is, we see those, and that's cool and exciting to see. But yeah, as soon as I saw his knee buckle and the way it buckled, and they had such a great shot on it on that replay that I was pretty suspicious about his ACL immediately. And even my 9-year-old was pretty impressed by it, and we kept rewinding it.
Of course you did. Of course you did. You sicko. You're probably texting video of that in your group chat with all the other docs over there at TSAOG. I didn't want to watch the replay.
No, it's pretty rare to get that good of a view of the actual moment the ACL pops. Yeah, that was pretty gross, but and unfortunate for Jameson. But yeah, that's entertaining for us orthopedic surgeons.
So when you look at that, Dr. Nauer, what is the process now for him? Obviously, he had an MRI today. You want to get a good look at that, I would assume, and see what kind of damage and how much damage there is. But what's the process now for Jameson Williams?
Yeah, so this first week or so really is getting the ice, the basic stuff that we talk about for just run-of-the-mill weekend injuries. And for us, it's ice and anti-inflammatories, rest it. But just what you said, the MRI is important, especially for an elite athlete. And even the treatment for ACLs, the paradigm has shifted a little bit on those injuries. And that MRI is not just looking for the ACL, but also the meniscus, the strap in the knee, the little cushion, the cartilage, because it's common to injure other things. But as far as the ACL, the old dogma was ACLs, you rest it, you get it moving, try and get the swelling to go down, and you come back later to replace or reconstruct the ACL. But there are some injuries, some ACL tears that we can fix or that we can repair if we get to him early enough. And obviously for him, he'll have that MRI today or tomorrow and potentially have other treatment options. But this initial period, it's resting it, icing it. He's going to be swollen and sore, and trying to manage that is really job one this week.
I believe I saw on Twitter a few minutes ago the MRI is done and your 9-year-old was correct. It's all shredded. And the sad part, and it's the debate or argument, if you will, about playing in some of these bowl games for the players that opt out, is he was likely to be a fairly high draft pick. One of his other teammates that got hurt in the SEC championship game was probably a top 10 or 15 pick and blows out his ACL. Obviously, it will have some impact on where they get drafted. You go back to a Jalen Smith, who would have been a top 5 pick, ends up going in the second round. But long term, at that position, how much impact could this injury have on his NFL career?
So it could potentially have big impact, not just on draft status, but like you said, it really could have long-term effects. Now, it all depends on how his surgery and rehab go. But there's plenty of examples of players coming back and playing high-level positions. I think of Adrian Peterson as one that came back and played for years at a high level. And, there's multiple receivers, but there's also just as many that never made it back to the same level. There's no guarantee with ACL surgery, especially at an NFL level, but he is still young. He's got, his NFL career all in front of him, so he may fall some in the draft, but I still think that he has reasonable expectations to have a good career ahead of him.
Well, that's certainly good news, and obviously we wish him well. I want to switch to the NFL for a minute because Jimmy Garoppolo, who the Cowboys will play this week, Doc, has a fractured right thumb. Now, he suffered that about 2 weeks ago, but he played pretty well. He looked okay, obviously, Sunday when he brought the 49ers back against the Rams. But an injury like that, when you're talking, and I know there's different types of fractures, I'm not going to hold you to a complete diagnosis here, but how difficult is that to squeeze a football and make plays like that?
Yeah, so, that injury for the quarterback is obviously the most that affects his position the most, just for, you said, gripping the ball and trying to make throws. Now, there's different grades to this injury, that the base of the thumb, the ligaments that stabilize it, the ulnar collateral ligament. And for him to come back this quick, obviously he did not have a high grade or the type of injury that would require surgery. And obviously last week he was at least able to make some throws, especially when it mattered. So if he's able to play through it last week, I only expect him to be to be better this week. But there are definitely some of these injuries that would require surgery, and that's kind of season-ending type of stuff. But obviously he's back, and I would expect him to be able to grip and throw just like he did last week, if not any better.
Cowboy fans don't want to hear that, Doc.
Maybe I'm trying to hope for a jinx if I just keep saying he's going to look great.
Yeah, there you go. A quarterback who isn't playing this week, and that's probably good news for the Saints, Taysom Hill. Liz Frank injury, and he's going to have surgery. And then apparently is going to need to have a second surgery to get all the pins and everything removed. I thought Liz Frank was more one of those kind of injuries that you just kind of let rest and take care of itself.
Well, just, there's different grades of it. Usually, though, a Liz Frank injury for almost anyone is going to require surgery, especially for an athlete. That's a French surgeon who first described it. But it's an injury to the bones in the midfoot or right in the middle, where the ligaments and even sometimes the bones break and tear, and those bones aren't lined up. They're unstable. It's essentially like a dislocation of some of those little joints, and the surgery is to line those joints back up, and then pins or screws or fancy thick stitches, whatever is used to fix it. You have to give that time to heal. For him, it sounds like the plan is to use pins on the outside, which obviously, like you said, have to be removed later on. But beyond that, it's a significant injury. Probably at least 6 to 9 months minimum before he's able to run and do explosive type of work on a football field.
It's just amazing how you guys can do the stuff that you do and know the body parts and pins here and tears here, and this has got to happen. I mean, my goodness. I mean, to me,
that's went to school for a dozen years.
Well, I get that, but I could go to school for the rest of my life and never be able to do that, right? I mean, I'd be looking inside going, wait a minute, what's that? And why is that like that? I mean, Doc, I say that as a compliment because, I mean, is it as hard as I think it is, or at some point, does it just click?
Well, it is difficult. Now, the learning curve is steep early on, but, once we get into our upper years, and you said 12 years, I like to say I made it through like 27th grade. But once you get above 25th grade, it's kind of, you've learned a lot and you can apply principles. But now out in practice, and the surgeons that are out in practice like me, it is very complex, and the different joints are complex to the point that now in the world of orthopedics, we're all subspecializing for the most part. And so we've got guys that focus on those Liz Frank or the foot and ankle injuries, and then guys like myself that are more into the knee and hip and shoulder type of work. So it is very complex, and that's kind of driven our field into the arena of subspecialization, where we're seeing folks that just do one joint or one type of area of the body.
It is pretty amazing what you guys do over there at TSAOG Orthopedics. And Doc, I need a freebie here for our producer, James Pledger. He's a workout fiend, and apparently he hurt his pec. And last night his pec. And last night we were at the Rue Pub watching the championship game. Everybody from the radio station was there. And then all of a sudden, Pledge, I don't know. I thought, I don't know what was wrong with him. I was wondering if he was feeling okay. Did we need to call 911? And he was just, looked like he was about to cry. He was welling up a little bit. And he said, I hurt my pec and the pain medicine just wore off. It just wore off just like that. Like the pain medicine stopped working at 8 p.m. Perfect. Boom. What can Pledge do for his sore pec?
Road. Well, I don't know. He may just need to do some 6-ounce curls or the 12-ounce curls, whatever his preference is. But,
numb it all up.
I don't know. We may have to talk with him off there about that. Yeah, exactly.
All right, there you go. Take a couple Advil.
Yeah, call him in the morning.
Quit one.
Leave.
You recommend a leave. Honestly, I've never seen somebody that was taking pain medicine react like that almost instantly. I thought somebody kicked him below the belt. I mean, it was that kind of reaction. I thought he was having a heart attack. Literally, that's what I said. You okay? Because he's holding his chest and my pec hurts. I heard it. No, pain medicine just wore off.
That's terrible. No sympathy for him from you guys.
None.
No.
None.
None at all.
We don't have that great bedside manner that some doctors have. Good stuff. Dr. Lane.
Chat off air for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's waiting for us to end this so he can ask you some questions. Dr. Lane, now we always appreciate the insight and knowledge, man. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Dr. Lane now with our injury update powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics, online at TSAOG.com.
Those guys are impressive, man. I tell you what, it's amazing to me. I mean, I can't put a puzzle together. And these guys are putting knees back together and thumbs, and it's incredible to me.
You know why we do the injury update? Because of that knowledge. Right?
Absolutely.
You hear and it's interesting. These guys are so good.
Yeah.
You can just say that, and they're going to basically tell you everything that's going on. And then, of course, if you're driving around dealing with something, it gives you a pretty good idea. But also, you hear them, and if you do hurt yourself, you want somebody with that kind of knowledge working on you.
Absolutely, I do. For sure. And you know what's cool about what they do over there is that most of the guys are guys like us who still think we're athletes, and we're not, and we twist, pull, or pop something, right?
That's exactly what it is. You can hurt yourself grilling. And if you are doing some grilling with the Blitz, we're going to do it Thursday, as we do every Thursday, give away that $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. Upload a photo of the meat on your grill to sasportstar.com, and you could win that. Now, it's a bad segue into Deshaun Watson, but
well, yeah, that might be a better
Charlie Robbins,
fryer
on Yahoo. An interesting article today on Deshaun Watson that, and the Deshaun news has been quiet for a while, Joe, although there were some things buzzing a couple of days ago that he was close to reaching a settlement with all 22, and that would allow trade talks. Now that the season over, the Texans have to decide where they can get the best deal for Deshaun Watson. And again, it's not the best deal for Deshaun Watson, the best deal they can get for Deshaun, because he does have a no trade clause. So he controls his destiny. And so whatever team he decides he wants to go to, what are they willing to give up? And the Texans are just going to have to eat it, right? Miami was always the clear number one. It seemed like that's where Deshaun wanted to go. It was get to Miami. It seemed like the Miami owner wanted Deshaun Watson, willing to make the trade and deal with the bad publicity this year. Like, let him play this year. Never happened. Of course, you never knew if the commissioner was going to say, well, you're on the exempt list and not able to play anyway.
True.
So Miami never made a deal. Well, for whatever reason, and I still don't understand, they fired their head coach on Monday, Brian Flores. Article today on yahoo.com is talking about how one of the main reasons that Deshaun wanted Miami was to play for Brian Flores.
Yeah.
So now it seems like he's entered the transfer portal, and the recruiting process is now wide open for the services of Deshaun Watson.
But it's interesting. So it leads you to believe that maybe there was something else going on there between ownership and Brian Flores that they didn't like, or something he said, or a direction he wanted to go, because I think ownership wants Watson. I mean, I think they've been pretty clear about that they would like to have Deshaun Watson. Well, knowing that, and then knowing that he wants to go play for Brian Flores, and you fire him, so I don't know what you do. Do you get on the phone now with Watson's agent and says, we fired him because we want this guy, and that guy wants Deshaun Watson, so we still want him here?
It's interesting. Again, I don't know that any of the brass with the Miami Dolphins are actually going to tip their hand. Although whoever hires the coach is going to ultimately, I guess, decide who is going to be the quarterback. Do they want Tua, or do they want to pursue a Deshaun Watson or somebody else? It does feel like the owner's all in on giving up everything to go get Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
But if Deshaun wanted to live in Miami but also play for Flores, does he want to live in Miami and play for whoever they decide to hire? So it'll be very curious to see what comes out over the next couple of weeks as Miami searches for their new coach. Are they hiring a coach with input from the Deshaun Watson camp?
That will be interesting. And it's got to happen, you would think, or at least the Texans hope it will happen by March, right? So that's when they'd like to get this thing done. However, the Texans really don't want to trade Deshaun within the AFC.
They don't.
They would like to ship him off to the NFC, which there are some teams there, obviously, that are interested in Deshaun Watson. Philadelphia's always been a team that is interested. Has Jalen Hurts done enough to cement that job there? Maybe it depends on what happens in the playoffs. I don't know. But if you get a shot at a Deshaun Watson, I mean, you got to take it, don't you?
Jalen Hurts has done enough to keep a job in the NFL. But if you're Philadelphia and you get a chance to upgrade from a Jalen Hurts to a Deshaun Watson, you make that move.
Sure.
You do. And you thank Jalen for his great service and you send him on his way and he'll go replace somebody else who's not at that level. But give Jalen a ton of credit for getting that team in a rebuild year into the postseason. But that doesn't buy him equity over a Deshaun Watson if you can make that trade. I, for one, don't want to see that to happen.
Well, no, Cowboy fans don't.
But or Washington, for that matter, because there's also rumors there. Now, Carolina, I find interesting because the Carolina Panthers could be a trade destination, but they've got to go hire their OC. I don't think they've replaced Brady yet, right? Not on a permanent basis.
No.
I've heard some rumors that it could be Bill O'Brien.
Oh, my gosh.
But what was Bill O'Brien's relationship with Deshaun?
Well, it wasn't good.
I mean, but for years it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was until it wasn't.
I guess. You know, I don't know how good it was ever.
Deshaun had success under Bill O'Brien.
He had success under Bill O'Brien until O'Brien decided that, you know, DeAndre Hopkins, who was by far the best wide receiver in the league at the time, or certainly one of them, it had to go. So, you know, it's just Bill O'Brien, if he ends up in the NFL anywhere, you know, it's just it would be a travesty.
But he'll end up with a job somewhere. All these guys end up getting a job somewhere. Cleveland is mentioned in this Yahoo article. Be interesting there with what they have to decide to do with Baker Mayfield. But again, upgrade there. And I give Baker a ton of credit this year. The better quarterback than he gets credit for. He got hurt making a tackle after an interception in week 2 and played all season poorly, but playing through injury because he knows it's a contract year. I like the grit that Baker's always had coming out of high school, his college career. But if you're Cleveland, unless you have a sure thing, do you move on from a Baker Mayfield? Do you start the quarterback carousel over again?
Yes. You look, Baker Mayfield is just Cleveland needs to stop having the number 1 pick. That's what needs to happen, okay? They really do. They need to stop because it will do them better. It would force them to go out and get somebody that's better. Baker Mayfield is average at best, even when he's 100% healthy. You know, he'll make some throws.
But with the run game that they have, they don't need him to be more than average at best.
Well, somebody needs to tell him that. Because he'll make some throws, Jason, that would just scratch your head.
Well, sure.
And it's like, what is he doing? And I just, yeah, he played hurt. That's admirable. That's great. But he's average at best. And I don't think he's not a guy. If the Cowboys needed a quarterback, you going after Baker Mayfield?
Hell no.
No, you're not.
No, but I'll send him to Cleveland.
Well, of course you will.
I mean, well, all right. You talk about average quarterbacks. Would you take, as a Tennessee Titan fan, Baker Mayfield over Ryan Tannehill?
No, I would not. I wouldn't. Because Tannehill's one of those guys that knows his role. Baker Mayfield doesn't. Okay? Baker Mayfield ought to be handing the ball off to Nick Chubb 25, 30 times a game. All right? He should, regardless of what the score is, because he's going to get you in trouble. And so Tannehill knows that he's a running football team. He's a quarterback of a running football team, and you're going to hand the football off. And he knows that. So, no, I would take Tannehill over Baker Mayfield every day.
You know, and one destination that might be perfect for Deshaun Watson. And I've been on the Pittsburgh train for a long time, but what could Sean Payton do with Deshaun Watson?
Oh, wow. New Orleans, yeah.
And hearing the doc just talk to us about Taysom Hill being out 6 to 9 months with that injury. You don't know what's going on with Winston. Imagine a Deshaun Watson under Sean Payton with what they already have in New Orleans. As a Cowboy fan, I don't want to see that. But if the Texans are trying to get him to the NFC, a good landing spot might be New Orleans.
That may be the perfect landing spot for what they need and for what they have. And it's obviously, like you just said, it's not a team that's rebuilding. So they could go out. You had a guy like that, you're a Super Bowl contender immediately.
Yeah.
With what they've already got. So, yeah, that's a perfect landing spot for a Deshaun Watson. So that's going to be a great storyline to follow as we move forward over the next couple of months, because he's going to go somewhere and he'll be back and all of this is going to be cleared up. And I can't wait to see Watson back on the football field.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. Cowboys, Niners on Sunday afternoon in the playoffs. We'll talk about it as we continue here on the Blitz, a game that you can listen to on Sunday afternoon, brought to you in part by AA Best Bail Bonds. And you know nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, you get arrested, somebody you know gets arrested, you want to get out of jail fast because of course you do. Best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. Whether you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between, license number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or online at mybestbailbonds.com. Here's James Pledger with a Sports Center update.
Thanks, Jason. We'll start in the NFL, where Dallas Cowboys defensive corner Dan Quinn continues to gain interest around the league as a head coaching candidate. Along with the Broncos, Quinn has now also been requested by the Miami Dolphins and Chicago Bears for their head coaching vacancies. The Broncos and now the Dolphins as well have also requested to interview Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, who has already interviewed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Carolina Panthers are reportedly seeking to interview Texans quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator Pep Hamilton for their offensive coordinator vacancy. He has been credited with the development for such quarterbacks as Andrew Luck, Justin Herbert, and Davis Mills. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs fell last night to the New York Knicks, 111-96, their seventh loss in the last 8 games and third straight. DeJounte Murray led the way for the Spurs with 24 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds, while Jakob Poeltl added 12 points and 10 boards in the loss. The Spurs are now 15-25 on the year and will return to action tomorrow when they take on the Rockets. In college hoops, the 19th-ranked Texas Tech Red Bears have a tough one as they are on the floor right now with the top-ranked Baylor Bears trailing 19-7 with 11:10 left in the first quarter. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for River City Oral Surgery and Dr. Mark Havercorn. Do you have a toothache? Do you need your wisdom teeth out? You're looking to add dental implants. I want to tell you about Dr. Mark Havercorn and what he does over at River Center Oral Surgery. It's a full-scope oral surgery practice right there at I-10 and 1604. The office is local. He lives here. He's here for both pre- and post-care all the time. Havercorn is a specialist in oral surgery and a medical doctor, and he offers direct patient care. And if you're looking for the price, he can tell you exactly for how much things cost. Go to their website, rivercityoms.com. Check it out. A list of the actual prices for the procedures he does. You don't get upsold. It is what it costs. Not too many practices like this. I love it. Go check it out. They even offer financing. You need a great doctor at a cost-effective price. Dr. Havercorn is changing the dentist industry with River City Oral Surgery. You owe it to yourself. Give him a call, 210-778-0002, 210-778-0002.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Pro Football Hall of Famer and 3-time champion.
Pro Football's all-time leading rusher Emmitt Smith talks about joint pain.
Trust me, I know about joint pain. Sure, I made it look easy, but if my body could speak, it would say, I'm in pain.
Are you living with chronic joint pain? Knees, hips, lower back, shoulders? Don't just assume the old treatments are the only treatments.
I've gone under the knife to get rid of pain, but now there are options, and you need to check them out.
Emmett's talking about QC Kinetics, exciting new natural biologic therapies that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joints. New options now available here.
You can encourage your body to actually heal itself with the help of QC Kinetics.
Real relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics for regenerative restorative treatments with lasting relief.
But now, you and I, we have help. QC Kinetics.
Start now with a free consultation at QC Kinetics. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Call today. 571-0318.
Hey, Jim! Thanks for coming.
Are you kidding? I never miss one of your dinner parties. How's the new job?
We're growing fast, and I stopped working weekends thanks to how much smoother everything runs on NetSuite by Oracle.
Fantastic. We're still using QuickBooks.
Why haven't you upgraded to NetSuite?
Oh, we're making QuickBooks work, sort of.
Shh, watch your language. The kids are right there. Sorry, Amy. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. And 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since upgrading from QuickBooks to NetSuite.
Yeah, sounds like it's time for me to switch to NetSuite. Over 27,000 businesses already use NetSuite. For the new year, NetSuite has a new financing program for those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/radar. Head to netsuite.com/radar for this special one-of-a-kind financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. netsuite.com/radar.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
And now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that non-contact thermometers are not accurate. They also have inaccurate information on their labels regarding accuracy. New COVID strains are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. If you're having to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distanced space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. For over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. There is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074, or go to hill-electric.com.
Did the guy driving the 18-wheeler which wrecked into you focus too much on looking at himself in the mirror and not the road in front of him? His hair is still a mess, and now you're seriously hurt. If you or a loved one is hurt in a wreck with an 18-wheeler or company vehicle, don't call just any dude. Call the dude, the personal injury dude. Mark Poling at Poling Law PLLC at pidude.com. That's pidude.com. Or call 210-201-0303, 24 hours a day.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The best seat in the house is on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. It's a good night for college basketball. You know, national championship game ended last night. So now I got to get into college basketball. I'm not like Rob Thompson. I wait till college football is over, then I start getting into it. Conference play. I know Texas and OU play tonight. Longhorns still trying to figure themselves out. Got their ass kicked over the weekend by Oklahoma State.
They did. Big game against Oklahoma tonight.
Yeah.
I wait until the end of February.
Is that it? You're a March Madness type? And then you'll fill out a bracket and pretend like you know everything? I mean, that's what I do.
Well, I study these things, Jason.
No, you don't.
Of course I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, because when there's money on the line in a bracket, yeah, I want to kind of halfway know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Just have Brenda in accounting fill out my bracket, and I go with it, and I win.
Yeah, okay.
Because she doesn't know.
Well, and that's usually the case, right?
Exactly.
You get that bracket, you get people that say, yeah, you want to get in? Sure. And, they just pick willy-nilly and usually end up winning that thing. Sarah Lucero. Remember Sarah Lucero?
Of course.
She used to win all the time. And, even though she was a sports person, I don't think she was a basketball person.
No, but what she used to do while she was training for all those Ironmans is on those long training runs, she would always be listening to us.
Oh, okay.
And then take that great knowledge.
And she still won?
And she still won.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Despite of that fact she was listening to you.
That's what it is. Sooners, Longhorns, anytime Texas beats OU, it's a great day. Aggies are in action tonight as well. Aggies taking on Ole Miss up in College Station. Tip-off set for 7:30. You can listen to that game right after the Blitz at 7 o'clock here on San Antonio Sports Star. Andrew Monaco on the call, so you'll hear his great voice at
Love
7.
That guy.
Again, tip-off at 7:30. And, it's kind of strange because I'll go home tonight and it's just kind of figure out what the hell am I going to watch on TV. Now that all the, a lot of the sports are kind of winding down. Spurs don't play tonight. It's like, I guess it's going to be a night of college hoops.
Yeah, I guess it's got to be. The one thing I do know about college hoops is that Baylor is head and shoulders above everybody.
They are.
I mean, they're just so they stay healthy. I mean, I can't imagine them not just running the table.
So, Sarah, put Baylor down there as your national champion.
Yeah, there you go.
Now
you can listen for some knowledge, Sarah, right now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is that how? See, her and I, we share a birthday. So
really?
We do. So, she understands, we're on that same wavelength.
Okay. She's much better looking, though.
She is.
Yes.
That she is. You know who's not good looking?
Who's that?
Greg Zuerlien.
No. Greg the leg.
And right now he's got to have a hard time looking at himself in a mirror because he is killing the Dallas Cowboys. And it's interesting because Mike McCarthy, Fossil, everybody has had Zuerlien's back seemingly all season long.
And still do.
Kinda. I mean, it's crazy when you think about that because, as the playoffs get underway and you look at Greg the leg, big, he joins, he's coming to the team and, the Cowboys have had kicker issues for a while. So you're getting Greg Zuerlien, but you're buying reputation.
Right.
He does a lot of things well, apparently. I don't know. Maybe he's a good teammate. Maybe he carries bags, to the plane. He brings the good breakfast sandwiches. I'm not sure what that dude has done because you're a kicker. I mean, you think about a guy that should be at least in the 90% of what you do.
Right.
I mean, baseball players, batting average, and weathermen are the only guys that can be wrong on a consistent basis and keep their job and be considered great at what they do. I mean, that's why Bill Taylor's been around 25 years. I mean, you look at a baseball player, if he's batting over 300, he's having a great year.
Right, which is 3 of 10.
Yes,
yeah.
Right. 30% of the time, he's there. He has failed 70% of the time, but he's considered good.
He's good.
I never want to see, and no kicker should ever be able to keep their job when they have some sort of miss in half of the games. And that is what Greg Zuerlien has managed to do this year, is miss whether it's an extra point or a field goal in 8 of the 16 games that he has played in, and he's got a job. Mike McCarthy, at least on the podium, has his back. His special teams coach has his back. Jerry Jones this morning on 105.3 The Fan had his back, sorta. But the boys up there on The Fan asked if they've been looking around for other kickers.
You can rest assured that was the first thing that you look at, and if a better alternative would be out there, we'd be using it. Everything's at stake.
We got his back because,
there's nobody out there.
We don't like the alternatives. So we're stuck with this SOB. And you know what we got to do now? We got to change our game plan because I can't trust my damn kicker.
Absolutely it does. And we're well aware, and we should be aware. That's part of running the show. And it really does. But Zuerlien really brings a lot to the table. His leg strength, his touchbacks, his ability to be a threat at a length of distance, all of that is there.
Makes cupcakes.
He has had a exceptionally tough year for him in extra points, but he's a sound kicker, experienced kicker, and our guys are all sensitive about how to approach the game.
They're all. What does that mean? They're all sensitive about how to approach the game.
You don't talk to a kicker.
Well, you never talk to a kicker. Nobody wants to talk to a kicker.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think the sensitive approach to the game, as he was talking about his struggles affecting game plans. I don't have it in front of me, Pledge. If you can quickly look at his numbers from range, he's been money inside of 2 minutes of a half or a game, right? He struggled for whatever reason on extra points and seemingly chip shot field goals. So when I hear that, am I reading into this that if it's 45, 52, try them out there. We're good. But if it's a 32-yarder, go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you kind of read it that way?
I think so. And again, I don't understand. I really don't understand why some maybe it's just that thing, right? In golf, sometimes if you just have to rear back, you don't think about it and you just swing and hit it, right? So maybe that's what Zuerlien does with the long field goals. He just goes, swings the leg, kicks it, and goes through. But when he's up close for an extra point or a short field goal, he's thinking about it too much. He's in his own head.
Well, you're a great golfer.
Well, I'm a golfer.
You're a TV types always. You spend too much time on a golf course. Right?
I can play the game. Yes.
No, you'll lose to Pledge. Pledge is the best golfer on the team.
No, he's not.
Dude, that guy will roll out of bed and shoot a 77.
Well, right now he's got a hurt pec, so I'm not worried about him.
He'll shoot a 78.
No, he won't.
He will. But it's almost like your short game. like my short game is awful. When I've got to chip up onto the green. For whatever reason, I suck at that.
Right. Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about because it gets in your head. Yep. You want to try, do I finesse this shot? How hard do I hit it? All of that stuff.
Dude, I'm so bad at it. There's times I'll just break out my putter and just try to whack it with a putter because at least I know it's going to go straight.
Well, sometimes that's the right play.
Well, I mean, it certainly is for me. That's so if it's, 4th and 3 instead of a 33-yard field goal attempt, let's just try to run the damn ball and pick up the first down.
Well, I think
because missing a field goal is so demoralizing.
Well, it is missing an extra point is demoralizing. Especially if you're trailing 7-0 and you score a touchdown and your guy misses the extra point, it's 7-6. You're still behind.
Yep.
And now you're playing from behind the whole time. You're gonna have to go for 2, most likely at some point in time.
And you wonder for this game on Sunday, it's Cowboys 49ers. Haven't seen a line yet. Haven't really looked.
3. Cowboys are favored by 3.
So they're favored by a Zuerlien.
Which is basically even.
Yeah, because you get 3 points.
You get 3 points for being at home. Right. So it's basically, according to Vegas, it's an even football game.
All right. Looking at the numbers, this year Zuerlien 2 of 5 on 50+.
Okay, that you can live with that.
7 of 9 from 40 to 49.
That's great.
15 of 16 from 30 to 39. And he's 5 of 5 from 20 to 29.
Now, how in the world can that be?
Well,
what is he on extra points?
He's missed a lot of extra points, more than any kicker should.
I mean, those stats really surprised me there. 5 and 5 from 20 to 29. I didn't think he was that good.
I didn't either. That's why. Pledge, what did you just write there? That can't be right. 42 of 48 on extra points. That's awful. That's a touchdown that he has left on the board.
Okay. But field goal wise, he's not bad. I mean, so maybe that's what Jerry and McCarthy and all these guys are seeing. When you look at those stats, I mean, field goal wise, he's not that bad.
Yeah, I think about the Tampa Bay game right off the bat. They lost that game because Greg Zuerlien's missed kicks.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
You never lose a game because of one play. You just don't.
He missed, without looking it up, what he missed, an extra point and a field goal in that game, maybe 2 extra points. You pull up the box score from that opener against Tampa Bay.
Well, it must have been a 50-plus yarder then. Right? Because, I mean, he's perfect from 20 to 29. He's only missed 1 from 30 to 39. So And he's damn near perfect from 40 to 49.
Well, he's missed 2. He's 83% on the season.
Dude,
for a kicker, that is awful.
7 for 9 from 40 to 49. Going into the season, you would take that in a heartbeat.
No.
Yes, you would.
No.
You wouldn't. You expect your kicker to be perfect from 40 to 49?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
All right, 8 and 9. You can miss 1. Yeah, I mean, I might give you 1, but 83% on your field goal tries isn't high.
The percentage goes down because of that 2 of 5 from 50 plus. So maybe you stop trying 50 plus.
I want a kicker that can hit from 50 plus.
Well, of course.
I mean, that's it.
See, it's hard to compare. I really thought these stats would be a lot worse.
I did too, to be honest.
I did. I thought they'd be a lot worse.
It feels worse.
It does.
So in that opener against Tampa Bay, he was 2 of 3 on extra points and 3 of 5 on field goals. He left 7 points on the board.
Okay. And they lost by what, 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they lost.
they lost. They've lost a couple of games by 3 in which he's had a miss.
Well, hey, what if they scored touchdowns there instead of field goals?
Did you know it was supposed to rain today?
I did not.
It rained today.
It did?
I did not see. Yeah, because we walked out to go to lunch, and my car that spent a good amount of time yesterday at the wash tub had rain all over it. So did Pledges. So did and I don't recall any weather people that I saw yesterday or my app tell me it was going to rain today.
Well, your app is the only thing you looked at because you didn't watch the news.
No, because I was with you at the bar last night.
That's exactly right. I didn't either, and that's why we knew it wasn't going to rain.
Zuerlien is the 7th most accurate kicker
this
year.
There you go. So there's 23 other guys that are worse than him.
The one just in front of him at 6th is Justin Tucker.
Wow. I'm really shocked by these numbers. Where are you getting these numbers from? Is that Zuerlien's website?
It is. It is. Donate to GregTheLeg.com because he appears to be soon out of a job with the Dallas Cowboys. Although
I don't know why I'd keep him with those stats I just saw.
Well, all right, though.
I mean, those are great stats.
Sure, well, they're not great, but they're not as bad as it felt.
Jason.
They're not great. They're not as bad as it felt.
He's just about perfect from as far as 39
I guess when
yards.
you got an offense that scores as much as they do, he's kicked more extra points than anybody else, so he's had more opportunities to miss, says the agent of Greg Zuerlien, Joe Reinagel. I think what it does I think what it does tell you, though, is as bad as it feels with Greg Zuerlien, when Jerry says if there was a better alternative, we would have found him.
So
but
obviously
when they
there's
worked out kickers, this isn't a better alternative.
There are 23 guys in the NFL worse than Greg Zuerlien. 23. Think about that.
If you're Jerry Jones, when was the last time you settled for having something 7th best? Do you think he looks at his vacation destinations and says, where's the 7th best place in St. Thomas to stay? That's where I'm going. No, he wants the best.
Absolutely. I agree. But he can't have the best, obviously, because somebody else has got him and he can't get him. So who is it? Pledge? Daniel Carlson's number 1.
Which is crazy.
Okay. Chris Boswell. And then we've got what?
Nick Folk.
Okay. I mean, those are some good kickers ahead of him.
Yeah, all right. I mean, we don't really need to go through all the damn kickers in the league.
Well,
I mean, not at the rate of which Pledger types the show does, and fairly soon Andrew Monaco is standing by to take over for Aggie basketball. I just automatically would assumed it was Justin Tucker as the best kicker.
I will say, as much as we've been on Greg Zuerlien, after seeing those stats, it's not as bad. So what it does, Jason, it helps me understand why he still has a job, number 1.
It does. But,
and why they're not in a hurry to get rid of him.
But just to prove my point of always being right, it's when he has those misses and what it means to the Cowboys, whether they win or lose.
So
when he misses, the Cowboys don't win.
With that logic in mind,
just it's my argument, man. Just stick with it, man.
No, I can't.
We've got
to
go to break here.
I can't do that.
We're up against the time.
With that logic, every time Dak Prescott misses a wide open receiver,
he ran the wrong route.
That's the reason the Cowboys lost.
The receiver ran the wrong route.
Yeah,
I mean that's what I learned from Jerry Jones.
Probably C.D. Lamb who did that.
What I learned Right. CD quit getting targeted when Amari bitched about not getting enough targets. It's amazing how that works. We'll put a bow on the show as we continue here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN. What are we in January? I think we've exhausted our kicker talk for 2022 here on the Blitz.
I just became a Greg Zuerlien fan.
Shut up.
Exciting changes ahead on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. On February 1st, you'll need to retune your radio to 1250 AM and 103.3 FM. Same great programming, stronger signal. We think. Probably not.
The Roo Pub is the best place to watch a game. Football, basketball, the big fights, they have them on at the Roo on their 3 massive 170-inch laser screens and TVs all around. Come hungry, the food is fantastic, and the kitchen is open until 2 a.m. every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub has the best darts area in town, indoor cornhole, and weekday happy hour from 11 to 6. For lunch, dinner, or late at night, and the best place to watch a game, get into the Roo Pub at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Small businesses are the backbone of America. Yet when it comes to workers' comp insurance, you rarely get the savings you deserve. That's because insurance companies tend to lump you in with other businesses, and you can get overcharged. At Pi Insurance, we're on a mission to change that. With Pi, you get a quote specific to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. If you like savings, take 3 minutes to see how much you could save at trypi.com. Pi makes workers' comp insurance as easy as pie, with friendly representatives just a call away. No wonder customers rate our service excellent on Trustpilot. You work hard to build your business and keep your employees safe. You deserve more from your workers' comp provider. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote today at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
Mother's Window Tint, your car stereo, and auto security headquarters has discounts piled to the ceiling. That's right, every store, Austin and San Antonio, and especially the Bandera Road store in San Antonio has discounts on everything. Car stereos, car alarms, and especially the window tint you want. Dark, dark, dark window tint. Also, make your car go thump, 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 mother thump with new subwoofers and an amplifier. That's right. We can even hook it up to your existing factory car stereo. Get to Mother's Window Tint today. Check us out online at motherswindowtint.com or give us a like and a follow on Facebook. Tell your friends. Come on in. We've got those discounts stacked to the ceiling at Mother's Window Tint. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
We will buy no used car before it's time. We will pay the top money because we know exactly what we're doing at GiveMeTheVin.com. We've bought $1 billion with a B of used cars from you guys in 2021 already because this used car market's on fire. $1 billion in volume. We're paying so much, it's scary. Only at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Which teams are postseason bound? Which teams will screw the pooch and blow their chance? Which will get in with a miracle win? And how could COVID mess everything up? Get the latest from around the league and stay connected. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Everything's bigger in Texas. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Make sure you wake up with Rob and Rudy tomorrow morning. Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning. Halftime tomorrow, right around noon, should be must-listen-to radio.
Oh, that's right.
Jimenez has a 8:30 doctor appointment with a urologist. I don't know why I want to.
Is there an issue?
He's had some kidney stone issues.
Oh, okay.
I told him, man, I had my vasectomy live on the radio. You should go in and record this, man. Create some good content.
I don't know if I would want to see that. And I'm really happy that I missed your vasectomy.
Dude, it was great radio.
I'm sure.
I mean, for a while there, for several weeks, to quote the doctor, "You have a great scrotum," was my Facebook status for weeks. I mean, and doing it live on the radio, I think made it that much easier because I was more worried about what I was saying on air than what was going on down there. And then they were doing some stuff, and I thought they were prepping. Then he said he was done. And then you get a prescription that says, you have to have sex 3 times a day.
Man,
I framed that prescription pad and had it next to Joanna's pillow on her nightstand. It was great.
Wow. Well, that's good. I admire the doctors saying that about you, but it's Joanna that matters.
Yes.
Have you ever heard her say that?
Not in as many words, but yeah, the intent has been there. But
Yeah, I'm sure it has.
Not quite that kind of that phrasing. I mean, you think about it. I mean, Greg Shelton was the one in the room doing the video work. I mean, it was a monumental.
This was a comedy show.
It was great, man. I went to work the next day.
And
we were doing our show at Rio Cantina the next day.
Wow.
Just went down there with my bag of
ice.
Frozen corn. But yeah. I mean,
oh my gosh, man.
There are some benefits to that procedure. They're all good for you as a guy.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I think just do a good service for men's health. I seem to recall commercials with you and Bill Taylor wearing gowns.
We wore gowns, yeah.
I mean, there are certain things that as guys we've got to go through.
Yeah,
and,
I think it was to get your prostate checked. Yeah, which is important.
Well, I think he's getting it all down there tomorrow. I mean, based on what he was saying, he's worried about a little bit of everything.
Well, and I think I scared him a little bit because I told him that they may have to do an examination and stick something,
the catheter thing.
The catheter
thing. The tube right up there.
Yeah. So, Mikey,
get
nice
ready for
your
that,
nurse,
buddy.
man.
Be nice to your nurse. Always be nice to your nurse.
Always.
And trim up before you go.
Oh my God. We've lost the show. It's gone.
Andrew Monaco has Aggie basketball coming up next here on San Antonio Sports Star. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy your dinner.
I can't wait to watch you guys play.
We're ready for y'all.
Let's go.
The NFL playoff picture is coming together.
Let's go. Let's go.
Are you ready?
You got to go out there every play and earn it.
Hear it unfold on San